Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. Adop Hus. Chapter 141. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Doflamingo was horrified. The transaction between himself and Kaido was always a one-line contact. Even his subordinates were only aware of the highest cadre. How did Bai Shang know? Could it be a matter of man-made devil fruit? Fur. Admiral the White Bear should understand that as an intermediary in the dark world, it is inevitable to have a connection with pirates like 4 emperors. Although I am 7 warlords of the sea, I am still a pirate by nature. Eat food, Admiral the White Bear can understand. Doflamingo was not sure, so he spoke tentatively. Oh. You can understand. Mu Feng nodded. But before Doflamingo can breathe a sigh of relief, Mu Feng suddenly changed the conversation and said, Dressaros, the entire kingdom, is not enough for you to eat. Man-made devil fruit. Hee, you are really brave enough. Doflamingo. Now, Doflamingo can no longer calm down. His pupils shrank suddenly, and he whispered, White Bear. How did you know? At the same time, I can say that 10 is extremely upsetting, and being known by the White Bear. It also means being known by the world government and research is so taboo something, will definitely be regarded as a thorn in the eyes of the world government. Even the identity of celestial dragons in the past cannot protect oneself. For such factors that threaten rule, the world government has absolutely zero tolerance. Relax, so far, the world government doesn't know about this. No, it should be said that no one except me knows about this. So, the best choice for you is to kill me now. Mu Feng smiled. Hearing Mu Feng's words, Doflamingo's murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Of course he wants to kill Mu Feng, but Doflamingo knows very well that even 10 of them can't kill Mu Feng at all. However, Doflamingo is also a little relieved. Advertisement. Since Mu Feng did this, it must be a plot. In this way, there is room for relaxation, and I don't have to fight for it. Princess Mancheri and 500 laborers of the Dongtata clan can give it to you. White Bear, do you have any other conditions? Doflamingo said with a gloomy face. At this point, he really can't pretend to smile. Take a man-made devil fruit and show it to me. Mu Feng said. He suddenly thought of a question. Man-made devil fruit. I don't know how much it is worth. If it's sizable, it's also a way of making money. Doflamingo's complexion changed, gritted his teeth and said. Diamante, go to the factory and get an artificial demon. Although reluctant, Diamante didn't dare to defy Doflamingo's orders. After a while, Diamante took out a fruit full of circular patterns, which was different from any kind of devil fruit. Zone looked like a banana, Paramesha looked like a cantaloupe, Logia looked like a durian, and the artificial devil fruit looked like an apple. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Diamante handed the man-made devil fruit to Mu Feng unhappy. After receiving the man-made devil fruit, the system instantly obtained the information of this thing, and then the information was passed into Mu Feng's mind. Item. Zone man-made devil fruit rhino fruit. Category. Man-made devil fruit. Quality. 5 stars. Advertisement. Remarks. It is the result of the research of evil scientist, Guy Saw Current. Although the potential is inferior to the real devil fruit, there is not much difference before devil fruit awakening. The value is 45 redeemable points. Seeing the item's remarks, Mu Feng's eyes lit up. It's worth 45 points. In Zone Devil Fruit, Rhino Fruit is pretty good, but at most it is worth 120 redemption points. Unexpectedly, its man-made devil fruit is worth so many points. In an instant, Mu Feng paid more attention to the artificial devil fruit than devil fruit. After all, man-made devil fruit can be regenerated, but devil fruit cannot. Yes, not bad. Mu Feng nodded in satisfaction. Suddenly, Doflamingo had a bad feeling. I saw Mu Feng overturn the man-made devil fruit in his hands. Looking up at him, he opened his mouth and said, From now on, all man-made devil fruits will be divided into half. The color cannot be lower than this one. With that said, put this man-made devil fruit directly into the space backpack. Obviously there is no plan to return it to Doflamingo. Advertisement. Doflamingo's face was gloomy as if dripping water, and he said, White Bear, you don't provide anything, so you just ask for half of the artificial devil fruit, isn't it inappropriate? The blood vessels on his forehead burst, and he was obviously angry to the extreme. Provide nothing. Who said it? Mu Feng looked at Doflamingo in surprise. Then he smiled and said, Why do you think you can still stand and talk to me? Your life, but I provided it. You should be fortunate that you still have a little use value. Mu Feng's tone grew colder. Continue to say. My patience is not that good. Tell 350 me quickly, do you agree or refuse? At the same time, his sight has been locked on Doflamingo. As long as he dares to refuse, he is ready to directly burn him to death with Amaterasu. Anyway, Doflamingo is just an intermediary. Continue to make artificial devil fruit. It's just that if you intervene directly, you will inevitably get into trouble if you are caught. Although Mu Feng hates trouble very much, he is not afraid of trouble. All the trouble, in front of enough redemption points, is nothing. Between Setsuna, Doflamingo is like an ice cave. This feeling is 10,000 times more terrifying than when facing Kaido. If he refuses out loud, I am afraid he will be killed directly in the next moment. I agree. Doflamingo spit out a few words hard. Hearing Doflamingo's answer, the smile returned to Mu Feng's face again. As if the rattling sword just now was just a joke, he smiled and said, "That's right. Don't worry, work hard. I won't treat myself badly, I can give you 35% of the Big Mom Sea area." Mu Feng's words made the expression on Doflamingo's face apparently stunned. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 142. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What does 30% of the sea area of the Big Mom pirate group represent? The four emperors can be called the great pirates of the King's Landing world, but it's more than just talking. The power of the four emperors has almost divided up 80% of the seas of New World. Countless other pirates divided up the remaining 20% of the sea. This is why the four emperors are called emperor. If you add 35% of the sea area of Big Mom, if you add to the original radiated area of your own power, you will rule about 10% of the sea area of New World and become the four emperors. No, now it should be said to be one of the three emperors. The strongest existence under. This is far greater than the benefits gained by cooperating with Kaido. Doflamingo's breathing became thicker, and his eyes were a little red. After a while, he said, "What's the price? Admiral, the white bear, I believe you won't give it to me out of thin air. Moreover, even if I can occupy it, I can't hold it." Well, if you still have a bit of self-knowledge, you don't have to think about it. Don't worry about this. The beasts die in the two plagues. Kaido can't take care of himself. Whitebeard as long as you don't move his children, but it doesn't matter what you make of New World, red hair is about the same. The remaining forces are not enough to crush you. Now the whole world knows that 7 warlords of the sea belongs to my white bear force. As long as you use the name of 7 warlords of the sea, I believe that no one will not be long-sighted. If there is, I don't mind coming to New World for a trip. Mu Feng said with a shrug. What's the price? Admiral, the white bear, you haven't said yet. Doflamingo asked. It's very simple. Mu Feng said with a smile. 70 tons of gold per year. In addition, all the islands have to build a marine branch, so that I can also talk to Marshal Sengoku. Of course, this is only symbolic. Marine does not, it will interfere with your rule in the dark. However, I don't want a tyranny like Dressrosa to appear in these waters. Quote. How about a simple condition? Mu Feng looked at Doflamingo with a smile. Advertisement. I accept. Doflamingo said. Although accepting Mu Feng's conditions, there will be a feeling of being controlled by others, but compared to that huge sea, he can't refuse at all. Hee. A wise choice. Mu Feng said with a smile. The Big Mom pirate group's sphere of influence in New World is too large. Mu Feng calculated that with Marine's deployment in New World, it can eat up to about 60% of the area, and the rest of the sea is cheaper than other pirates. It is better to use it to let Mu Feng earn some extra money. 70 tons of gold in a year is equivalent to 7,000 exchange points, 70 devil fruit. As for Sengoku, it's easy to handle. He doesn't want to see these sea areas hand over to pirates than Mu Feng. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Wait, I will tell you which sea areas are allocated to you. Now, let's solve other problems. Mu Feng said. What's the problem? Doflamingo was puzzled. Now the conversation between the two has no longer the tense atmosphere just now. It can be seen that only interests in this world are eternal friends. Neither the man-made devil fruit matter nor the transaction between us. It should be very secretive, but now. Mu Feng did not continue. Instead, he looked at the cadres of the Don Quixote family behind Doflamingo. Doflamingo's face changed, and he said solemnly, "White Bear Admiral, the cadres of the family are all my family members, so I think." Doflamingo's words are not finished yet. He was interrupted by Mu Feng. It's a very good way to win people's hearts. They treat their subordinates as family members, so at critical moments, they will not hesitate to die for you. Don't worry, I am not going to kill them. The meaning of advertisement. Hearing Mu Feng's words, Doflamingo's face became a little ugly. Because what Mu Feng said is completely correct, this is exactly his way of imperialism. The reason why Mu Feng is so clear is that in the original plot, Monet of the Don Quixote family said it himself after he died for Doflamingo. "White Bear Admiral, what can you do?" Doflamingo asked. Slap. Snapped his fingers. "Bryn, come here for a while." Mu Feng looked behind him. Charlotte Bryn was taken aback for a moment, and then hurriedly ran to Mu Feng's body and said, "Mu Feng-sama, what's the matter?" "Well behaved, no presumptuousness." Backquote him. Mu Feng nodded. Then he looked at Doflamingo and said, "Charlotte Bryn, you should know." "I know." Doflamingo nodded, and said, "Charlotte Linlin's daughter. A person with the ability to remember fruits. If it is the ability of intelligence. In New World, Doflamingo can still be ranked top. If it is her ability, I have no opinion. However, the top 3 cadres, I hope they can keep their memories. After all, they must be exposed to the core content of the transaction." Doflamingo was silent for a moment and said, "Advertisement. No problem. Bryn, erase all their memories today." Mu Feng said. "Yes, Master Mu Feng." Charlotte Bryn said. Then, he walked to a cadre of the Don Quixote family and put his right hand directly into his head. This cadre was a little resistant and wanted to dodge. "Mahabe, don't resist, just erase today's memory, there is no life threatening." Doflamingo said suddenly. "Yes, young master." Mahabasi hesitated and said. Then, Bryn's right hand was directly inserted into Mahabasi's head. It miraculously pulled out Mahabasi's memory like pulling a film. Knead it into a ball, destroying this memory directly. Mahabasi's gaze was sluggish at first, and then became puzzled. He looked around and was a little puzzled. What happened? Why the family cadres and young masters are all looking at themselves? Just about to ask, Doflamingo took the lead and said. "Bice, stand aside and don't ask why." "Yes, young master." Although he was puzzled, Mahabe was still very obedient. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 143. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Seeing that Mahabe was fine, the surrounding Don Quixote family cadres no longer resisted. Even if it was resistance, he didn't dare to show it at all. After all, the white bear can be watching. If you dare to resist it, you might be dead. Soon, Bryn cleared everyone's memories. Later, I will order my men to send Princess Mancheri from the Duntata clan and 500 Duntata laborers to the battleship of Admiral, the White Bear. Doflamingo said. No, Mu Feng said. Take them to the iron bridge leading to Grimbit Island. Wait a minute, I'm going to Grimbit Island. By the way, I will take the Dongtata clan away. So, about the man-made devil fruit, you have to think about it. Other ways of planting. I don't want the production of artificial devil fruit to decrease. New World is good at planting, and it should not be the only one of the Dongtata family. Doflamingo responded. Although the Dongtata clan is not only good at planting plants in New World, the Dongtata clan is the best, and it is easy to be deceived. Grimbit Island is an uninhabited island next to Dreyrosa. Because it is an uninhabited island, the island 993 has been covered by tall plants, which can be said to be completely a virgin forest. And underneath the island, there is a kingdom hidden, the kingdom of Dongtata. 200 years ago, the iron bridge from Dares Rosa Island to Grimbit Island was still passable, and humans traveled back and forth between the two islands on this road. But now, fighting fish appeared around the iron bridge, a very ferocious sea beast with horns. Since then, no humans have set foot on the iron bridge. Hey, humans, where are you going to send us? We have to plant fruits to treat Princess Mancherry. The small people in the car yelled. Get off the car and stay here. Don't run around. Someone will come over later. A cadre of the Don Quixote family placed the 500 imprisoned workers of the Dongtata clan by the iron bridge and explained. With a sound, he hurriedly left. Because he didn't want to bump into him when Marine White Bear would come over. Advertisement. The Dongtata people who were released were very puzzled. Hello, Dongtata clan. Suddenly, a friendly voice sounded. The huge figure of Mu Feng appeared in the sight of the Dongtata tribe. The members of the Dongtata clan looked at Mu Feng, his eyes suddenly lit up. Of course it is not because of seeing Mu Feng, which humans often see. But because on the shoulders of this human, there is a small person. They are very familiar with it, and it is the princess of the kingdom of Dongtata, Princess Mancherry. Princess Mancherry. Great. I finally see you. How is your illness? Is it better? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Don't worry, Princess Mancherry. We will plant a lot of fruits so that your illness will be cured soon. The people of Dongtata tribe said verbally. They were very happy to see Princess Mancherry. Since they were imprisoned by Doflamingo, they have not seen Man Shirley. Everyone. Man Shirley's voice was a little choked and said, I made everyone worried, but Shirley is not sick. This is a conspiracy of Doflamingo. He wants everyone to plant that kind of fruit for him, so he cheated everyone. Ah, Doflamingo is so bad, it deceived us. Yes, it's so bad. We unite and find him to take revenge. Advertisement. Yes, get revenge on him. Everyone of the Dongtata tribe is very angry. Although they are simple and easy to be deceived, they are not stupid and hate the feeling of being deceived very much. Everyone, calm down, Man Shirley said hurriedly. She knows the horror of Doflamingo, which cannot be dealt with by the Dongtata clan. Man Shirley continued. Doflamingo is very powerful. Even if all of our Dongtata clan is dispatched, it is not his opponent. Besides, I have been rescued by Marine's Mu Feng Admiral now, so there is no need to pay attention to him anymore. Just now, when Mu Feng rescued Man Shirley. But he tried his best to render and show his glorious image of justice. Marine Admiral. So awesome. Thank you for saving our Princess Mancherry. Well, thank you so much. The acting has to perform a full set, and I heard the thanks from the Dongtata clan. Of course, Mu Feng had to pretend to be just an awe-inspiring, and said, it's nothing, I'm just Marine Admiral. When Mu Feng said this, he was a little embarrassed. But for the next plan, I can only say it without blushing and heartbeat. Advertisement. Wow, Mu Feng Landu is so handsome. As expected of Marine Admiral, it is really righteous. Fortunately, Mu Feng Randu is here. The people of Dongtata all looked at Mu Feng with admiration. At this moment, Mu Feng is thick-skinned and can't stand it. Cough cough cough. Well, I will send you back to Greenbit first. Yes, let's go back to Greenbite first. Man Shirley also said. Father, and Leo, they must be very worried about us. Yes, let's go back to Greenbit first. We will start building the ship now, with 500 people, if we hurry up. We can build the ship in 2 days. Don't be so troublesome. Mu Feng said suddenly, and then pointed to the iron bridge on the side. We can go through the iron bridge and we will reach Greenbit soon. Iron bridge. Mu Feng Randu, although the iron bridge can quickly reach Greenbite. But there are very fierce fighting fish around the iron bridge. Even in our entire kingdom of Dongtata, there are only Leo and a few fighters can defeat Duyu. Among the 500 people, an older Dongtata tribe said. And Mu Feng said with the slightest shamelessness, as a just Marine Admiral, I am very powerful. Of course I can defeat Duyu. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 144. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, a fighting fish jumped out of the sea, with a pair of thick horns, and its dark skin seemed extremely threatening. Ah, it's a fighting fish. Danger. Leave the shore soon. Seeing the appearance of the fighting fish, the little man of the Dongtata clan panicked instantly. It was at this time that Mu Feng shot. Pull out the mammoth blade from the waist, the sharp sword Aura slashed out with the hand. Cut the fighting fish into 2 directly. Okay. It's solved. Mu Feng took the mammoth blade back into the scabbard. The little men of the Dongtata clan looked at Mu Feng with admiration. In their opinion, the ones who could defeat Duyu were very powerful. Let's go. Let's go to Greenbit. Mu Feng said. Then they stepped on the iron bridge first. Seeing that Mu Feng is so powerful, the little people in Dong Pagoda did not hesitate to step on the iron bridge and flock to Mu Feng. The fighting fish under the sea seemed to smell the food on the iron bridge and jumped out one after another, but without any accident, they were all cut off by Mu Feng. The blood from the corpse dyed the sea under the iron bridge green. Advertisement. The death of the same kind did not let the remaining fighting fish retreat. It makes them even more violent. Every second, dozens of fighting fish jumped out of the sea, so that Mu Feng's swing speed could only increase. But just for a while, Mu Feng got bored. There is still no distance to reach the green bit on the other side, and it will take a while at the speed of the Dongtata clan, and it has been slashing like this, it is not ordinary boring. Forget it. Get rid of you all at once. Mu Feng murmured. Then his gaze suddenly condensed, and the terrifying conqueror's haki burst out in Setsuna, avoiding the dwarves of the Dongtata clan, and acting on the fighting fish under the sea. Suddenly, all the fighting fish floated to the surface of the sea, with their stomachs facing upwards, and their eyes were full of circles. Comma 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 comma. Wow. So awesome. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Unexpectedly, it solved all the fighting fish at once, even more powerful than the most powerful fighters of our Dongtata clan. Are all Marines so good? Idiot. How could it be possible? I heard from the humans in Dreyrosa that Marine Admiral is the most powerful person in Marine. Oh. So it is. Comma comma comma. Without the obstacle of fighting fish, Mu Feng and the dwarf of the Dongtata clan quickly arrived at Greenbit Island at the other end of the iron bridge. Advertisement. Stop. Humans, what are you doing to our Grimbit? Suddenly, a sharp voice sounded. A member of the Dongtata clan jumped out, wearing a crown-shaped hat and goggles, and two needles about the same height as him beside him. No, for him, it was his weapon. Huh, Leo, didn't you see me? Before Mu Feng spoke, Princess Man Shelley sitting on his shoulders suddenly arrogantly said. But how can I hear the joy in her words? The Dongtata dwarf in front of him was Leo, the commander of the Dongtata clan, and the strongest warrior of the Dongtata clan. Those with the ability to sow fruits will also be a member of the Straw Hat ship group in the future. And man surely likes each other. But two people, one is embarrassed to show it, and the other is an emotional idiot. Then it leads to a stiff relationship. Leo also thinks that Man Shirley is a willful, self-willed, bad-hearted, and very tempered princess. Ah, Princess Mancheri, Leo said in surprise. Huh, this is my country, why can't I come back? This is Marine Mu Feng Admiral, who saved me and 500 clansmen. Where's my father? I'm going to see my father. In front of Leo, Man Shirley really looks like a domineering princess. Women chasing men. It's not like that, obviously. I just need to hint a little. Why is it so complicated? Mu Feng wanted to talk to Man Shirley for advice. But think about it. Forget it. He is now a just Marine Admiral, how can he do such a pimping thing? How much influence one's glorious image in the hearts of the dwarves of the Dongtata clan? Ask for flowers. Without waiting for Leo to speak, Man Shirley continued. The Emperor Father should be in the underground palace. If this is the case, Mr. Mu Feng is too big to get in. Leo, you go get the Emperor Father out. Come on. Mr. Mu Feng must be very solemnly grateful for saving so many of our people. As a princess, Man Shirley is still very qualified. Okay. Princess Mancheri. Leo finished speaking, then turned and ran away. Advertisement. Mr. Mu Feng. There is no arrogance in Man Shuili's voice. Except in front of Leo, she is a very polite and gentle princess at other times. Please wait a moment, Lord Father will be here soon. Mu Feng nodded. Dot 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 dot. After a while, Leo and a king of the Dongtata tribe, who was wearing a luxurious robe and a white beard, walked over. Father. Man Shuili shouted and ran over. Man Shirley. It's really you. That's great. You are finally back. King Dongtata was also very happy. The father and daughter held each other and cried for a while. The mood gradually calmed down, and King Dongtata looked at Mu Feng and said, Dear Marine Admiral, thank you for saving the little girl from Doflamingo. I really don't know how to thank you. If you have any needs, please let me know. Quote. King, you are polite. As Marine Admiral, it is my duty to maintain justice. Mu Feng said abruptly. Immediately, he looked embarrassed and said, also, I am very ashamed. There is no way to completely solve the crisis on Greenbit Island. Crisis. What crisis? Leo interrupted suddenly. Leo, facing Marine Admiral, how can you be so rude? King Dongtata reprimanded Leo first, then looked at Mu Feng and asked, Dear Marine Admiral, can you tell us Grimbit what is the crisis of the island? As a king, he is the most nervous about the crisis in Grimbit. Mu Feng nodded, and then, angry, said, It's Doflamingo, this guy wants to blow up the entire Grimbit Island. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 145. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ah, how could it? How dare Doflamingo blow up Grimbit? Princess Mancheri said in shock. Doflamingo is so hateful. Yes, yes. Doflamingo. Why did he blow up Grimbit? We don't have any contact anymore. King Dongtata asked puzzledly. Doflamingo is going to blow up Green Bit. It's totally a fictional thing made up by Mu Feng. Mu Feng is very simple. Originally, Mu Feng planned to use the kindness of saving Man Shirley and the 500 Dongtata people to let the Dongtata clan help him plant special plants. However, when he obtained the mirror space, he had a different mind. Utilize the power of wood style. 27. To give birth to plants in the mirrored space, and then move some creatures over, then the mirrored space, will it transform into a real world. And only uncivilized beasts are not enough, it is better to have some highly intelligent races. Therefore, Mu Feng turned his attention to the Dongtata clan. No way. Who told them to cheat? According to Marine's information, the main reason why Doflamingo will return to Dressrosa is to end the grievances he made with you 900 years ago. And he is a very cruel pirate, so he naturally chose the most vicious method. What Mu Feng said is a top-notch, well-founded one. The grievances 900 years ago. King Dongtata was taken aback, and then angrily said, the things that happened 900 years ago were obviously provoked by their Don Quirky family first. Damn, now they want to continue bullying. We are the kingdom of Tata Tower. Your Majesty. Let's go to Doflamingo and do our best. Leo said angrily. Yes, Your Majesty the King. We must not let Doflamingo succeed and declare war on the Don Quixote family. We must defend Greenbite and our country. The people of the Dongtata clan are all filled with righteous indignation. Although they are short and kind, they will never choose to escape when they encounter a crisis. King Dongtata's chest rises and falls, obviously also extremely angry. However, he couldn't say that he wanted to declare war against the Don Quixote family, because he was the king. As a king, you must be responsible for what you have said. But he knew very well that the kingdom of Tata Tower was not an opponent of the Don Quixote family. Seeing the look of King Dong Tata, Mu Feng knew that it was time. Pretending to be the same enemy but ashamed, he said, King Dongtata, I'm sorry, as Marine Admiral, I should have stopped Doflamingo from doing this. But, the origins of the Dongtata family and the Don Quiridian family. You should be aware that the Don Quixote family is the descendant of the 20 kings who once founded the world government, and is now the celestial dragons, the world's noblemen. Therefore, even if first am Marine Admiral, I have no right to coerce Doflamingo. The safest way is to wait until 3 years later, when the world government convenes a world summit. I will propose to stop Doflamingo's behavior. But, I'm afraid that Doflamingo will blow up Green Bit within these 3 years. Mu Feng said with a look of embarrassment at the end. Advertisement. Lies are also about art. If it is all lies, it will be easily revealed. So if you lie, it's best to have 7 points for true and 3 points for false ones. And these 7 points are true, it is best to know what you want to deceive. The Don Quixote family is the offspring of the 20 kings, Doflamingo is celestial dragons, and Marine Admiral can't use celestial dragons. Although the news of the Dongtata kingdom is blocked, they still understand these common sense. It's just that what they don't know is, the Don Quixote family has long been excluded from the celestial dragons clan. Few people know about such disgraceful things, and Doflamingo will not preach. Naturally, King Don Tata will not know this news. Therefore, the Dongtata clan completely believed Mu Feng's words. Now, what should I do now? Is it really necessary to fight with the Don Quixote family? King Dongtata looked sad and didn't know what to do. King Dongtata, I have a way. Oh, forget it. Mu Feng swallowed as soon as he was halfway through what he said. It would be embarrassing if you behave too aggressively and get exposed. If you want to refuse but also welcome, is the most correct choice. Sure enough, Mu Feng didn't say anything, but King Tata was anxious first. I hurriedly said, Dear Marine Mu Feng Admiral, do you have any way to save the Dumptata clan? Please tell me, the Dumptata clan will remember your kindness for generations. Then I will tell you first. If you don't think King Dongtata is inappropriate, you can assume that I haven't mentioned this method. Mu Feng said. No matter what, the Dongtata clan will be grateful to you. King Dongtata said. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Actually, I feel, instead of staying at Greenbit, it is better for your Dongtata clan to migrate to other places, so that there will be no danger. Mu Feng said. Hearing Mu Feng's words, King Tata was embarrassed and said, Actually, when the Don Quixote family returned to Dreyrosa, I have considered these things. However, I did not find a suitable place for us to live in. Island. The voice of King Tata was a little bit lost. Actually, I know a place that feels very suitable for the Dongtata clan to live, but I don't know if the Dongtata clan is willing to go. Mu Feng said. Finally, he will extend a criminal abduction hand to the Dongtata clan. Where? King Dongtata asked. Mu Feng didn't speak. But opened the channel to the mirror space. From the side of the passage, you can completely see the other side of the passage. The lush forest is the forest created by Mu Feng using the birth of the tree world. The place I'm talking about is here. I found it once when I used Devil Fruit's ability. It feels very similar to Grimbit Island. Mu Feng explained. Chapter 146. The Upcoming Pursuit. King Dongtata looked at the mirror space at the other end of the passage. His expression was a little changed, but he hesitated. He still said, But Grimbit Island is the residence of our Dongtata clan for thousands of years, if. Advertisement. Although he had thought about moving to the place of residence, when he really faced it, King Dongtata hesitated. But before the old king had finished speaking, Man Shirley interrupted. Father, I think Mr. Mu Feng's opinion is correct. During the period of being imprisoned by Doflamingo, I have a clear understanding of the power of the Don Quixote family. The horror of the horror is definitely not something we can resist. We can only wait for death in Grimbit. Father, you can't wait for death. Great, Man Shirley. Beautiful assists, Mu Feng said in his heart. King Dongtata's expression was a bit tangled, but when he saw a crowd of Dongtata people, he gritted his teeth and said, Okay. Then we will move to 11 place. Great, now I finally don't have to worry about the Don Quixote family anymore. Yes, when I was talking about declaring war just now, I was a little scared. Hey, actually, I'm also very scared. The little guys of the Dongtata clan started talking. Hearing that the people did not reject it, the king of Dongtata felt relieved. Then he looked at Mu Feng and said, Dear Mr. Mu Feng, can you give us 3 days to clean up? Click, and then go to the world on the other side of the tunnel. Of course there is no problem. Mu Feng smiled. 3 days later, the Dongtata clan migrated. Although the Dongtata clan is small, the population is definitely quite large. There are tens of thousands of people. Wow, the fresh air is 100 times better than Green Bit. Yes, look, a tall tree. And there doesn't seem to be any scent of beasts around. Now, we don't have to live in the ground anymore. It's really great here. Regarding the environment of the mirror space, the mood of the Dongtata clan at the moment can no longer be described by the 2 words of satisfaction, but very, very, very satisfied. Of course, 3 important satisfactions must be added. The environment of the mirror space was created by Mu Feng using wood style. Every tree has a very majestic vitality. If animals or humans stay in this environment, there will be a kind of feedback from the body instinct. The sense of comfort in the brain. The Dongtata clan is more compatible with plants, and naturally likes this feeling more. Dear Mr. Mu Feng, thank you so much. Not only did you save the Dongtata family, but also found such a suitable place to live for us. Mr. Mu Feng, Please let us do what we can for you, please now. King Dongtata said sincerely. The expression on my face is just that. You quickly arrange for me to do something, otherwise I will have an unconscious expression at night. Yes, Mr. Mu Feng. Please make sure to let our Dongtata clan do something for you. Manhwaedit also said from the side, with a sincere expression on her face. Mu Feng Zhengshuo didn't know how to speak, he was really dozed off with a pillow. Then he pretended to be difficult, and after thinking for a long time, he took out dozens of special plants from the space backpack, and said, I have some plants here, which have not been cultivated. I heard that the Dongtata clan can cultivate any plants. Advertisement. Here Mu Feng hasn't finished speaking, but the king of Tata Tower over there vowed to say, no problem, just leave it to us Tata clan. If it's something else, King Tata will think about it. But with regard to planting, King Dongtata has absolute confidence, as long as it is a plant that exists in the world, Dongtata can be planted. Dear Mr. Mu Feng, I don't know how much of this plant do you need. King Dongtata looked at Mu Feng and asked. Of course the more the better. Mu Feng said. Okay. King Dongtata nodded and said. I will arrange half of the tribe to plant these plants full-time, and the other half of the tribe will also plant them in their free time. This is simply the Dongtata clan. Plant it with the power of the whole family. Thank you so much, Mu Feng said. Dear Mr. Mu Feng, you are serious, it should be our Dongtata clan thank you. King Dongtata hurriedly blocked Mu Feng's thanks. After a few polite words, Mu Feng left the mirror space. Young master, the White Bear's battleship has left Dres Rosa. In the palace, Diamante said to Doflamingo, who looked gloomy. Really? Doflamingo was obviously relieved. The pressure Mu Feng put on him is really too great. After a pause, Doflamingo looked at Diamante and said, let the cadres of the family prepare to start taking over part of the waters of Big Mom. Be sure to seize other forces before 633. Doflamingo knows very well that now is the best time. If you wait for Mu Feng to leave New World, then countless forces are bound to swarm straight into the seas of Big Mom. But, young master, is the White Bear deceiving us? Diamante said with some uncertainty. Apparently he didn't believe Mu Feng. Don't worry. No, Doflamingo said coldly. Because, it's not necessary at all. Although he doesn't want to admit it, Doflamingo knows very well that Mu Feng's strength is absolutely crushing him. If he wants to solve himself, there is no need to make such trouble. In addition, after inserting our flag, we also insert the Shichibukai logo. Doflamingo explained to Diamante. Yes, young master. Diamante said unwillingly. On the vast sea, the Marshall-class battleship was traveling steadily. My lord, shall we return now? Hearing Guy's question, Mu Feng smiled and said, you return, I am going to the Chambord Islands. I will have a headache next. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 146. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Oh, it's really a troublesome thing. Mu Feng stood on the surface of the sea, muttering to himself helplessly. Chasing Hulk. Isn't it just chasing yourself? The most important thing is that the people performing the mission are Shirokuma, Senju Hashirama, and the Hunter Guild leader who does not exist at all. Nima. These identities are all about yourself, okay? Forget it. Don't make it too complicated, just find an uninhabited island to make some noise, and fool Marine and world government over, just fine. Mu Feng murmured. However, before that. The drama is still I want to play a full set. The voice fell, and 3 wood clone appeared. Then each hand formed the handprint of transformation technique. Bang! 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 The original 3 wood clones with the same appearance as Mu Feng changed into different appearances, Senju Hashirama, Hulk, and an elegant man with black framed eyes. They are the most popular villains in Shinigami in the world, Aizen Sosuke. You know who you are. Mu Feng said with a shrug. I know. Clear. Senju Hashirama and Hulk 2 wood clone said. Aizen Sosuke's wood clone scratched his head and said, well, my deity, I didn't expect you to choose this guy to act as the president of the Hunter Guild, the villain, is this really good? Shut up. Mu Feng said directly. Advertisement. How can you talk so much? Remember, your current identity is Aizen Sosuke, and his character is not the current virtue. Mu Feng said helplessly, holding his head. I see, my deity. Wood Clone said weakly. The next moment, the whole body's temperament changed abruptly. Okay. Don't say. The person looks like a dog, it really feels like Aizen Sosuke. No. Ba ba ba. What kind of person looks like a dog? Isn't scolding Wood Clone the same as scolding yourself? Hulk, you go to the first half of the Grand Line to find a larger uninhabited island. Senju Hashirama and I will go to the Hunters Guild. After half an hour, Aizen Sosuke, you will show up again. That's right. Don't forget to find a sword to force it. Mu Feng confessed. Difference Wood Clone is too tired. It is better to recite their identity, and it is easier. Yes. Okay. Understood. The three Wood Clones said one after another, and then left each. In each Wood Clone, Mu Feng has poured a lot of chakra, even enough to sustain a short-term battle. So don't worry about Wood Clone disappearing due to insufficient chakra. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Nani. Where is Island 1 in Chambord Land? Mu Feng asked in surprise. He and Wood Clone have arrived in the Chambord Islands. However, the original location of Island number 1 is wrong. It should be said that the area of Island number 1 to 10 has become a vast ocean. It should be your deity. Wood Clone said. Mu Feng was taken aback. It's really possible that I did it myself. At that time, he and Charlotte Linlin fought, and the last bite of the thousand-blade flower definitely penetrated the entire shampoo ground. It is estimated that the rhizomes of the Yulchman mangroves around here have been cut off by himself. Advertisement. In 10 days, it is estimated that this area has sunk to the bottom of the sea. Forget it. Let's go to the 13th island first. It is estimated that Rayleigh and Ainulu are all staying in Shachi's rip-off bar now. Mu Feng murmured. After speaking, he went straight to the 13th island. Tingling bell. Pushing the door open, a crisp wind bell rang. Sure enough, everyone in the Hunters Guild is here. Ainulu eats apples on his own. The 4 priests are behind him. Rayleigh is drinking wine leisurely and Shachi, but he doesn't know how to watch intently at the bar. Holding something. What's everyone doing? Don't you need to work? Wood Clone asked strangely. At this moment, he is acting as Senju Hashirama, naturally it cannot be Mu Feng who speaks. Brother Hashirama, the Hunters Guild is gone. How do you work? Admiral the White Bear is here too. Shachi said in a bad mood. At the end, I noticed Mu Feng behind Wood Clone. Sorry, I sunk Chambord 1 island. Mu Feng said with a shrug. It doesn't matter. Shachi's face was a little embarrassed, and then she remembered that the culprit who destroyed Chambord Island number 1 was here at this time, and she was simply revealing the shortness. I think it's pretty good here. Clean it up, and it will be our Hunter Guild's residence in the future. Wood Clone looked at the surroundings and said. Quote. Shachi was speechless. Some regrets, I just shouldn't have spoken. Advertisement. Are you going to shoot that guy Hulk? I really can't think of. What kind of monsters in this world need you two to fight against? Rayleigh said with emotion. Once upon a time, the 4 emperors was the strongest symbol on the sea. But nowadays, not only has Senju Hashirama, a strong man able to defeat the 4 emperors, but also Mu Feng, a strong white bear who can kill the 4 emperors, appeared, and now, these 2 people have joined forces against the enemy. What a monster. 2 people. Didn't you say he still has him? Mu Feng asked knowingly. He. Who is it? Rayleigh looked puzzled. You said the president, he will be here soon. Wood Clone said. Hearing the words guild leader, Rayleigh's pupils shrank suddenly, and Shachi's movements were also stiff. The mysterious Hunter Guild leader, is he finally showing up? Mu Feng didn't make a sound again, Wood Clone didn't make a sound, Rayleigh and Shachi didn't make a sound. In the whole room, only the sound of Ainulu eating an apple. The atmosphere was in this weird atmosphere for half an hour. Tingling bell. The wind bell rang. Suddenly, everyone in the room looked over. I saw a man with brown hair and white hair came in. It looks very elegant, although there is a knife at his waist, but no one looks like a strong person. I'm sorry, guest, our shop is closed today. Shachi said. You seem to have misunderstood. The visitor smiled elegantly and said, my name is Aizen Sosuke. I was the guild leader of the Hunters Guild at that time. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 147. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Shao-Chi was stunned. The guy in front of you will actually be the guild leader of the Hunter Guild. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like a strong man. Full of refined temperament, more like a nobleman, or a rich son. Rayleigh also looked unbelievable. President, you are here. Senju Hashirama Wood Clone said. In an instant, I was seated firmly. Aizen Sosuke Wood Clone Hunters Guild President, who was unknown to others. How could Senju Hashirama admit his mistake? Aizen Sosuke, is this your name? Mu Feng also pretended to know Aizen Sosuke. No way. When he first met Rayleigh as a white bear, he said that he had fought with the guild leader of the Hunter Guild. Now of course you have to pretend to know you, otherwise you can justify yourself. White Bear Admiral, we meet again, don't come here unharmed. Aizen Sosuke Wood Clone looked at Mu Feng with an elegant smile and said. Don't come unharmed. Mu Feng said awkwardly. Can it be embarrassing? Try it. Speak into the mirror yourself, not embarrassed. However, in the eyes of Rayleigh and Shao-Chi, the embarrassment on Mu Feng's face is a kind of embarrassment when seeing someone who has beaten him, and the identity of Wood Clone is more conscientious. Aizen Sosuke Wood Clone turned his attention to Rayleigh 370 and Shao-Chi. An apologetic smile. General Counsel Rayleigh, and Ms. Shao-Chi. I'm sorry, as the guild president of the Hunter Guild, this is the first time I saw you. Thank you for your contribution to the guild. It's not a sacrifice, I just think the Hunters Guild is very interesting. Otherwise, even if you put a knife on my neck, I won't join. Rayleigh laughed. Advertisement. What Rayleigh said is absolutely true. If Mu Feng formed the pirate group instead of the Hunter Guild that day, then even if he defeated Rayleigh, Rayleigh would not join. The Hunter Guild is fundamentally different from the pirates. Nothing. Shao-Chi said, slightly embarrassed. It is really the image of Aizen Sosuke, and the image of the Hunters Guild leader she imagined is totally different. Shouldn't it be Haki who leaked and watched everything? Well, now that we are all here, let's start to act. As Marine Admiral, I am very busy. Mu Feng said. After all, Wood Clone is just a display. Bah, if it takes a long time, it will inevitably show some footwork. Of course, Mu Feng wants to slip the number as soon as possible. Okay, let's go. Aizen Sosuke Wood Clone nodded. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Watching Mu Feng, Senju Hashirama and Aizen Sosuke leave. Shao-Chi lit up a cigarette, looked at Rayleigh aside, and asked, Rayleigh, what is the strength of this Aizen Sosuke? Does it exceed Whitebeard? I don't know, I can't see through it all. Rayleigh shook his head. Then he showed an awkward expression and said, Whitebeard. The white bear can kill Charlotte Linlin, and it has been proven that it is not weaker than Whitebeard. Now that Aizen Sosuke defeated the white bear, this has proved to be stronger than Whitebeard. Quote. As that's so. Shao-Chi embraced her hands, her face condensed. The boundless sea. Huh, my deity, fortunately you are witty. Otherwise, after a while, I really don't know how to continue to impersonate Aizen Sosuke. Wood Clone let out a breath. Advertisement. After all, Landa can't pretend to be casual. Let's go. Let Marine discover us as much as possible. Mu Feng said. Ah, my deity, aren't you afraid of being discovered? Senju Hashirama Wood Clone looked at Mu Feng in astonishment, and Aizen Sosuke Wood Clone was also bewildered. It has its own way. Mu Feng smiled. After all, Wood Clone is only composed of chakra. Although there is a period of thinking, whether it is thinking or strength, it is just a Wood Clone. Without hiding their whereabouts, the three swaggered out of the Chambord Islands. The information was passed to Marine and World Government in the first time. Malin Bando, Marshal Marine's office. Sengoku, do you want Kizaru and Garp to go? Suru asked. Sengoku frowned, did not make a sound, and shook his head for a while, and said, no, no need. It is enough to have Mu Feng here. Moreover, the main force of this battle is the Hunter Guild. There is no need to increase our casualties. Let Huo Shaoshan and Stalo Berry do a show to show Marine's position and must not intervene in the fight. At that level of battle, even an admiral-level powerhouse would lose his life accidentally, and the red dog is a living example, not to mention a lieutenant general. N. Crane nodded and went to make arrangements. Advertisement. Mary Geoise, the official residence of 5 elders. I found the White Bear and Senju Hashirama, as well as the traces of the 3 people suspected to be the Hunter Guild leader. It should be to find Hulk. How do we act? Flat Hat 5 elders said. Send CP0. 5 elders said. However, there is no strong person at the same level as Hulk. Even the leader is only a strong admiral level, and there is no way to intervene in this level of battle. 5 elders with a bald and round face frowned. Isn't there a white bear? Just show your identity and let the white bear protect them. Besides, it's just gathering intelligence, not participating in the battle. Blonde 5 elders said. Yes. Then inform CP0. Second. An uninhabited island in the first half of the Grand Line. This place is very good. Well, if it is destroyed, will it be a pity? Mu Feng said to himself. The 3-wood clone did not speak. Some bugs actually landed on the island. Fortunately it's not marine, otherwise it's really hard to start. Look at the costume. Looks like it's from a world spy agency. It seems that 5 elders was scared by the Avengers. It's not light, haha. Mu Feng laughed. Okay, I'll leave it to you next. 3-wood clone finished speaking. Bang bang bang. The 3 beeps turned into 3 pieces of wood. Their mission has been completed, and next is the moment when Mu Feng performs. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 148. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Mu Feng didn't make any movement, just stood there quietly. About 7 or 8 minutes later, the voice of Shishi Suoso sounded in the distance. Looking at Mu Feng, 3 masked figures appeared. The figures are all unusually tall. The headed one is the shortest one, more than 3 meters tall, and the 2 behind him are 7 or 8 meters tall. The leader first looked at Mu Feng and then around. There was some doubt in his eyes, and his tone was extremely arrogant. Where are they? Where are the people? Are you asking me? Mu Feng frowned. Such an overbearing attitude is really enough unpleasant. Is there anyone here besides you? The headed masked man said in a commanding tone. Also, when there is a fight, remember to protect us. Did you hear clearly? Bai Shang. By the way, I forgot to tell you. I am the leader of C_PO. CP1, the full name of CP9, World Government Espionage Organization. Its status in the world government is equivalent to that of the ancient Dongchang, Jinyue and the like. The power is so great that it will never be inferior to Marine. CP0 is the superior organization of CP1 CP9. As the leader of CP0, his rank is equivalent to the commander of the whole army. Not to mention ordering a small admiral, even if it is ordering Marshal Marine, there is no problem. In the original plot, after Lu Qi joined CP0, even the Red Dog dared to be shocked. Advertisement. In the eyes of the masked man, as long as he has identified himself, Mu Feng will definitely be in fear, but it seems different from what he had imagined. Bai Shang, don't you hear me asking you? Answer my question. The masked man looked at Mu Feng a little displeased, and said sharply. Of course I heard, you said other people. Sorry, there is no one but me here. Mu Feng said with a smile. No. Where's Senju Hashirama? Where's the guild leader of the Hunters Guild? And didn't you come here to kill Hulk? The masked man was puzzled. You mean these people? Aren't they in front of you? Mu Feng continued to smile. White Bear, what nonsense are you talking about? Now there is obviously only. The masked man just wanted to say the word, you, but suddenly stopped, his face full of shock. There seemed to be something incredible in his eyes. Follow his gaze. At this time, there was Mu Feng the White Bear standing in front of him. It was the Hulk. Before he could react, Mu Feng used transformation technique to become Senju Hashirama. I'm not wrong. These people are not all standing in front of you. Mu Feng looked at the masked man and said with a smile. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. And at this time, Mu Feng became the image of Aizen Sosuke. Finally the masked man reacted, his pupils shrank sharply, and he screamed. I know. Whether it is Senju Hashirama, Hulk, or the guild leader of the Hunters Guild, it's all you. White Bear. Okay. It deceived everyone. Destroyed Mary Geois and killed celestial dragons. I want to report all your crimes to 5 elders. Oh, is it? Do you think you will have this opportunity? Mu Feng smiled lightly. Seeing that Mu Feng was not afraid, the masked man was a little uneasy. White Bear. What are you going to do? I tell you, I am the leader of CP0, at the same level as Sora. By this time, the masked man had not realized that he wanted to use his identity to threaten Mu Feng. Advertisement. Vaguely reveals a turbid coat of arms, an unruly and arrogant talent. Surges, denials, paralysis, and moments hinder eternal sleep. The crawling steel princess, the clay doll that constantly self-harms, combines rebound and extends to the ground. Know your own powerlessness. Hado's 90 black coffin. Mu Feng said slowly, ignoring the masked man who has been screaming wildly. Now he looks like Aizen Sosuke, and of course he wants to use black coffin for the enemy. Mu Feng's voice fell, and blocks of black crystal walls appeared, and then one after another formed a huge black coffin, trapping the masked man in it. After a second, countless slender blades suddenly appeared around black coffin. Suddenly, they all pierced into black coffin. When black coffin was fully formed, the inside of black coffin and the outside of black coffin were completely different spaces, so Mu Feng could not hear the screams of the masked man in black coffin. After disarming black coffin, the masked man fell to the ground. Zero seeking flowers. The mask on his face was already broken, revealing an ugly and twisted face. It's so ugly, no wonder it has to be covered with a mask. You actually killed the leader. It was not until this time that the other 2 long-length masked men behind the masked man reacted, pointing to Mu Feng and said with a horrified expression on his face. I feel that this is not the focus of your attention. Mu Feng looked at the 2 with a pity on his face and said, what you should be concerned about is. You know that I am going to kill them all. Advertisement. Damn it. Run away. The 2 long masked men finally reacted. But it was too late, because Mu Feng's hands had already quickly formed mudra. Within a few Setsuna's time, the complicated handprints have been completely printed. Sage art wood style real number Senju. Boom, boom, boom. The huge closed-eyed Senju Buddha statue appeared, nearly a few thousand meters tall. Falling from the sky, covering the sky, as if the entire sky is falling down. Damn it, jauntization power. One of the long masked men suddenly swelled up. The original height of 7 or 8 meters, suddenly swelled to 7 or 80 meters, and his muscles were entangled, and he was taller than ordinary giants, but he should be Devil Fruit's ability. However, how can Senju be able to resist just by becoming a giant? It's like a man's arm as a car. Without any hindrance, Senju crashed down. Mu Feng didn't know what the 2 long masked men would be like at this moment. However, I know that the 3 are dead, because Mu Feng's mind sounded a system voice. Congratulations, host, kill the CP0 leader trio. Reward. 237 Advanced Experience Scrolls, Armament Hockey Exclusive Experience 46 Scrolls and 63 Exclusive Experience Scrolls for Observation Hockey. Because 2 of them belong to special life forms, the host will be rewarded. 1 deformed fruit and 1 ultimate steroid preparation, Biceps King reagent. Quote. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 149. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Nani. What the hell? Why do you sound so familiar? Shouldn't it? A guy with a bright bald head and dead eyes popped out of Mu Feng's mind. I couldn't help but shudder. That guy is serious but can blow up the entire pirate world. That bald head. Forget it. Let's not think about that bald head, it's too shocking. Item. The ultimate steroid preparation, the king of biceps. Type. Consumable. Quality. 7 stars. Remarks. From the world of One Punch Man, the preparation can turn an ordinary person into a 1,000-meter-high giant, possessing the terror power that can easily destroy a town, but because even the brain is full of muscles limited intelligence. 7-star quality things. But they are 1 level higher than their own mammoth, 0.20 inches blade, which is definitely a good thing. Actually worth 800 points. Not bad. But now I don't lack the points, so I keep it. What if I have a chance to use it? If you don't use it, it doesn't mean you can't use it for others. Destroying a town easily, this is the level of quasi-4 emperors. Don't even want to redeem it back after redeeming it for points. Even if the god level mall can refresh this thing again, it will definitely not only sell 800 point coupons. There is also a deformed fruit, which can transform into various forms of creatures, but they are all empty and physical, but it is very suitable for CP0 such espionage agencies. However, in the eyes of Mu Feng, it is only worth 180 redemption points. Well, this is a bit of a movement, it doesn't seem to be big enough. Forget it. I'm making it bigger. Let's sink this uninhabited island first. Mu Feng muttered. Advertisement. His eyes condensed suddenly, and the aura of his whole body suddenly rose to the extreme. The fast knots of the two hands can only see the heavy shadows of the hands. Suddenly, he yelled out. Sage art wood style true number Senju on top of the Buddha. 10 kilometers away from the uninhabited island, there is a lieutenant-level warship parked. Huo Shaoshan and Stalo Berry, the two of them in Marine Lieutenant General, are not only second only to Garp in terms of qualifications, but they are definitely the best among lieutenant generals in strength. Looking at the uninhabited island in the distance, which is covered by forest and cannot be seen clearly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Stalo Berry said with emotion. I don't know what kind of battle will erupt in the next time. I really want to go to the island and have a look. It's absolutely rare in the world. Forget it. Huo Shaoshan said grimly. Mu Feng Admiral killed the powerhouse of Charlotte Linlin, and the Monster Hulk was about to kill the Chief Akadog with 2 punches. Senju Hashirama was able to crush the 4 Emperors level powerhouse. There is also the guild leader of the mysterious Hunter Guild. I don't know what methods he has. This battle definitely surpasses the level of the 4 Emperors. Huo Shaoshan rode. Yeah, I'm afraid it's just the aftermath of the battle. It can shatter us. Stalo Berry made a lingering look. At this moment boom, boom, boom. There was a huge noise. Storo Berry and Huo Shaoshan stopped talking. Advertisement. 2 pairs of eyes stared at the uninhabited island not far away. I saw. The huge, wooden Buddha statue with closed eyes, 1,000 meters high, fell down. Crashing to the ground, the entire uninhabited island is shaking violently. That is Senju Hashirama's ability, although I have learned it in intelligence. But when I see it with my own eyes, it still feels terrifying. Huo Shaoshan murmured. Stalo Berry, who was on the side, was also dumbfounded. However, it took about half a minute. There seemed to be no violent movement on the uninhabited island, and the two looked at each other, a little confused. But at this moment, suddenly, the closed Buddha statue suddenly opened its eyes. The Buddha came to the world with compassion, and there was also the angry King Kong. The angry Buddha is absolutely terrifying. In Setsuna, the thousands of wooden arms behind the Buddha statue, some clenched fists and some palms, blasted towards the uninhabited island at a frequency of tens of thousands of notes per second. The speed of the wooden arms attack is indistinguishable at all. How could the poor uninhabited island withstand such a violent attack? In just a few seconds, it was a little unsupported, as if it was about to collapse. After 10 seconds, the uninhabited island finally couldn't withstand the real number Senju's top of the Buddha with such a crazy frequency of hits, and it was shattered. However, Senju's attack has not stopped yet. All fell into the sea. Advertisement. Suddenly, a terrifying huge wave rises. With the uninhabited island as the center, spreading to all directions, the power is extremely terrifying. Seeing such waves, the burning mountain was still aghast, his complexion changed suddenly, and he shouted in horror. No. Command the battleship to retreat quickly. Such waves swept over, and I was only a lieutenant-level warship under my feet, and I absolutely couldn't resist it. The warship retreated quickly. However, the speed of the waves is faster and they soon invaded. 0. Looking at the huge waves hundreds of meters high, Huo Shaoshan and Stalo Berry's expressions were extremely embarrassed. Even if one of them is a strong hockey and the other a swordsman, there is no way to deal with it. Prepare to abandon the ship and ask for help from naval headquarters. Huo Shaoshan roared. He originally thought 1.6 miles away from the battlefield, it was already very safe. The battle of the 4 emperors level is unlikely to spread to a distance of 10,000 meters away. However, the reality is extremely cruel. The battle not only spread to thousands of meters away, but now it is about to overthrow them directly. Rao Marine is familiar with water, but being covered in the water by such a huge wave, it is estimated that 9 out of 10 of the seamen on the battleship will be drowned. The Marines on the battleship were all panicked. Life jackets, life buoys. I put on my body in a hurry, although I can swim, but after the battleship is destroyed by the waves, who knows when the rescue will come. But at this moment, a sword energy that was so dazzling to the extreme, broke through the huge waves. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 150. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The golden epaulets, the hunting marine justice cloak, under the sun. A figure can't see a trace of its face at all. That's Admiral the White Bear. Admiral the White Bear saved us. I don't know which seaman exclaimed and recognized Mu Feng. The horrible sword energy separated the huge waves, and Mu Feng steadily landed on the battleship. Mu Feng Admiral. Mu Feng Admiral. Huo Shaoshan and Stalo Berry both breathed a sigh of relief first, and the battleship was saved. Then ran in front of Mu Feng, respectfully saluting the army, and said, Senior Huo Shaoshan, Senior Berry Stalo, I didn't expect the marshal would send 2 seniors. I thought it was an old man. Otherwise, I'll remind you to step back sooner. Senju Hashirama's wooden fruits are very scary. Mu Feng smiled. Huh, if it weren't for Mu Feng Admiral to arrive in time, I'm afraid I don't know how much Marine will die. 10 Stalo Berry said with lingering fear. Thinking about the situation just now, there are still some fears. Mu Feng Admiral, how is that fellow Hulk now? Huo Shaoshan asked curiously. Hearing Huo Shaoshan's inquiry, Stalo Berry also looked at Mu Feng with a look of confusion. Obviously, he was very curious about the result of this battle. Dead, killed by the Hunter Guild leader. Mu Feng said. Guild Hunter killed it. Advertisement. Huo Shaoshan and Stalo Berry were both surprised. The attack on the huge Buddha statue just now was so terrifying, they felt the power of that terrible tens of thousands of meters apart. It is conceivable that the target being attacked by it will suffer terrible damage, but Hulk did not expect Hulk to survive. What a terrifying Hunter Guild leader who can kill Hulk. Burning Mountain. Stalo and Berry looked at each other. All saw the shock in the eyes of the other party. Then about the fighting, do you report to the headquarters immediately? Huo Shaoshan asked. With Mu Feng, Admiral here, Huo Shaoshan naturally needs to ask for instructions first. Forget it, I can't tell from the phone bug. When I return to the headquarters, I will report to Marshal Sengoku. Mu Feng waved his hand. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, Mu Feng Admiral. Huo Shaoshan nodded. At this moment, if the phone worm calls, I will definitely not be quiet for a long time. And, the most important thing is, Mu Feng hasn't figured out how to fool Sengoku yet. Malin Bando, Marshal Marine's office. The situation of the battle is probably that. I didn't do much. I was mainly responsible for blocking the escape of Hulk. The main force of the battle was Senju Hashirama and Aizen Sosuke, who was the guild leader of the Hunter Guild. Mu Feng said. You mean, Hulk was first severely injured by Senju Hashirama, and then killed by the guild leader of the Hunter Guild. What kind of power was used? Sengoku asked. Advertisement. I don't know, but I can be sure, it should not be Haki. Devil Fruit's ability is more likely. When he used his ability, a black coffin appeared first, and then Hulk was trapped in it. When he was relieved, Hao Kei is dead. Mu Feng described the scene when Black Coffin was released to Sengoku in detail. Black Coffin. Sengoku frowned, racking his brains to think about the Devil Fruit big picture book he had seen, but he couldn't think of the right top quality fruit for a long time. Suddenly, Sengoku's eyes lit up. Seeing Sengoku's expression, Mu Feng was very surprised. What did Sengoku think of? How did he look? I understand, on his face. It's dark fruit, the guild leader of the Hunter Guild Aizen Sosuke, he is a dark fruit capable person. This is the most dangerous ability in Devil Fruit. I didn't expect it to be born again after 300 years. The words scorched. The tone clearly confirmed the ability of Aizen Sosuke fruit. Mu Feng was stunned. If it wasn't for Aizen Sosuke or his own fictitious existence, he might have believed it. Dark fruit. That thing. At this moment, I don't know where it is, but I don't know if Blackbeard will get dark fruit because of his own existence. Dark fruit. It's possible, Mu Feng echoed. Sengoku is the marshal, and he is admiral, so he can't dismantle the leader's platform. What's more, what Sengoku's brain made up was a cover for himself. Knowing his abilities, then you don't have to be too alert as before. Although dark fruit's abilities are very strong. But it cannot be immune to external damage through elementalization like other Logia, and it will also absorb damage, and the pain was doubled. In addition, Devil Fruit's ability is inherently controlled by Heilushi. Even if we deal with the Hunters Guild and Aizen Sosuke in the future, we will not be helpless. But since he was able to kill Hulk, it proved that his strength had to surpass the 4 Emperors level. Boy Mu Feng, if one day Marine and Hunter Guild go to war, Aizen Sosuke will be handed over to you. Sengoku looked at Mu 220 Fengdao. A powerhouse beyond the 4 Emperors level. If it is the former Marine, there is absolutely no countermeasure. After all, Garp, the strongest Marine, is only a 4 Emperors level powerhouse. However, it is different now. Marine's strongest has become Mu Feng, the White Bear. Advertisement. He has a record of beheading the 4 Emperors, and is definitely a powerhouse surpassing the 4 Emperors level. But at this moment, Mu Feng has a big face with days. What the hell? Let me beat myself. How to play. However, looking at Sengoku's, I will give you the heavy responsibility, expression. Do your best, Mu Feng said. Besides, what can Mu Feng say? Pull, pull, pull. Suddenly, a rush of phone bugs rang, and Sengoku looked over, his expression condensed suddenly. It's a call from 5 elders. Sengoku said. In fact, it is to signal Mu Feng not to speak out. Mu Feng shrugged, expressing his understanding. He doesn't have a half-hearted impression of 5 elders. However, there are some things that you can't avoid if you want to. As soon as Sengoku picked up the phone worm, and before speaking, 5 elders' voice sounded first. Where is the White Bear? Where is he? Let him come to answer the phone worm immediately. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 151. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Sengoku was taken aback, then looked at Mu Feng. The meaning and obvious in the eyes were asking Mu Feng if he had provoked 5 elders. Mu Feng was surprised, and shook his head, saying that he didn't know. Although there is this expression on his face, Mu Feng is very clear in his heart. 5 elders is calling the worm at this moment, and it is 100% accountable about CP0. But Mu Feng didn't dare, because he had already figured out how to explain it. Master 5 elders. Sengoku wanted to say something more. But it was directly interrupted by 5 elders. Where is the White Bear? Let him come to answer. Without waiting for Sengoku to speak this time, Mu Feng took the lead and said, well, Master 5 elders, don't you know if you are looking for me as a little seaman? White Bear, the 3 leaders of CP0, how did they die? 5 elders asked. Hearing what 5 elders said, Sengoku on the side was already stunned. What's the situation? How come CP0 guys are involved again? CP0. What is that? Mu Feng said. Surprised. Advertisement. I have only heard of CP1 CP9. Haven't heard of CP0. Marshal, what the hell is CP0? Mu Feng looked at Sengoku. White Bear. Are you pretending to be crazy and stupid here with us? 5 elders' voice sounded from the phone worm, and his tone became increasingly unpleasant. I really don't know CP0. Mu Feng looked at Sengoku. Sengoku never told him about the existence of CP0. That, Master 5 elders, although Mu Feng has joined Marine for 4 years. However, in the first 3 years, Garp trained in Windmill Village. For nearly a year, he has been in the Grand Line and fight everywhere in New World. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Therefore, regarding the organization of the world government, it has not had time to tell Mu Feng. No way, Sengoku can only bite the bullet and say. 5 elders on the other end of the phone worm was silent for a while. The tone seemed to be calmer before he said, after you, Senju Hashirama, and the guild leader of the Hunter Guild appeared, the world government dispatched a trio of CP0 leaders to follow you closely, and then boarded the uninhabited island. But since therefore, they have no news. Even the life cards of the three have disappeared, and they are obviously dead. Admiral, the White Bear, tell me what happened on the uninhabited island in detail. Command tone. Oh, the trio. Are they three long-body guys? Mu Feng asked. Mu Feng was clearly asking. Five elders didn't notice it, but said, it's the three of them. What happened? Actually nothing happened. These three guys appeared directly in the center of the battlefield, and Hulk happened to get angry, slapped one, and slapped them all to death. Hulk was slapped to death when he slapped the last one. Advertisement. The guy also ran to me, still wanting to shout something, but he was shot to death by Hulk when he shouted, I am. At that time, I was still wondering where the brain damage came from and dared to intervene. This level of battle was unexpectedly the spy agency of the world government in Zealy. Although his mouth is very self-blaming. But the expression on Mu Feng's face is completely, and only agencies under the world government can do this kind of thing. At Sengoku, I don't know how to say Mu Feng anymore. Put this matter aside for now. Bai Shang, from Hulk's mouth, have you heard anything about the Avengers? Five elders asked. Obviously, they are more concerned about the Avengers than the death of the CP0 leader trio. After all, no matter how important CP0 is, it is just their dog. As for the Avengers, it might affect their rule. Which is lighter and heavier, it's pretty clear at a glance. The Avengers, Mu Feng made a long voice. Then when the five elders were holding their breath and listening to the next information, Mu Feng said, I don't know, Hulk didn't say it. Mu Feng's answer, even Sengoku, who was standing on the side, was choked by the panting. Not to mention five elders on the other end of the phone worm, who was furious. White Bear, are you kidding us? Five elders roared. Advertisement. This is all seen. It seems that five elders is not too old-fashioned. Mu Feng narrowed his mouth and thought in his heart. However, there was a righteous and awe-inspiring saying. Master five elders. How is this possible? I can't answer the questions of adults indiscriminately. Just now, I was reminiscing about the course of the battle. During the battle, Hulk just yelled and didn't speak. By the way, at the last time, he said, the Great Hydra will take revenge for me. After speaking, he was killed by Aizen Sosuke. Oh, Master Five Elders doesn't know who Aizen Sosuke is, right? He is the guild leader of the Hunter Guild. Quote. Anyway, boasting that no tax is paid, Mu Feng naturally ran the train road with his mouth full. Last time I made up the Avengers, of course I have to set my mind this time and make up other tricks to fool five elders. As for whether five elders believes or not, that's not what Mu Feng is worried about, is it Zhao? He has always been responsible for digging pits, not filling pits. Hydra. At this time, the five elders were all dumbfounded. The Avengers haven't figured it out yet, and another Hydra popped out. Will it be different departments and agencies in the same organization? Any other information? Five elders asked. No more. Mu Feng said. Five elders' voice was obviously absent-minded. Continued. Sengoku, sort out the information about the Hunters Guild, and send it to Mary Geoise immediately before tomorrow. After speaking, he hung up the phone worm without waiting for Sengoku to reply. Sengoku didn't have any grievances on his face. Obviously, five elders screaming and drinking was something Sengoku was accustomed to. Mu Feng was also speechless. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 152. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Mu Feng killed Charlotte Linlin and destroyed the Big Mom pirates, then patted his butt and left New World, although the waters directly controlled by the Big Mom pirates were taken over by Marine and Don Quixote. But this does not mean that the disputes in New World will calm down. Moreover, it was even more riotous. Rao is Whitebeard, Redhead, and 100 Beasts. These three pirate groups also often clash because of the mismatch between their subordinates. But fortunately, each of them was limited, and the Four Emperors level war did not break out. But Mu Feng's life was uncomfortable. No, it should be said that it is simply corrupt. The food and use are definitely better than celestial dragons. There are two maids waiting beside him at any time. Well, I'm getting rusty in these days. Should I find something to do? After thinking about it, Mu Feng called Sengoku's phone worm. Mu Feng boy, what's the matter? Hurry up, I am not as leisurely as you. Sengoku in the phone worm was a little bit angry. That, Marshall, I'm not too busy in 887 recently. No, it's because you are too busy at work and want to help you share some of it. Do you have any tasks for New World and Grand Line recently? Marshall, leave it to me, Promise successfully completed the task. Mu Feng said with a smile. Huh, I think your kid is idle, right? Sengoku said irritably. After a pause, he continued. New World's Zidrota Kingdom, originally a country protected by Charlotte Linlin, has now successfully applied to become a member of the world government. Yesterday, King Zidrota asked Marine for help. Speaking of being attacked by a pirate, I originally wanted to leave it to Aokiji to solve it, but since your kid is so free, let it go to you. Advertisement. Don't worry, Marshall, it's okay to leave it to me. Even Whitebeard, I can definitely knock him over. Mu Feng smiled. Well, as much as possible to appease King Zidrota's emotions. He was the first New World Kingdom to join the world government after the fall of Charlotte Linlin. Take it seriously, and set a model for the New World countries at the same time. Sengoku explained. I understand, Marshall. Mu Feng responded. Comma 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 comma. Have you asked Marine for help? How did Marine answer? The elderly King Zidrota kept pacing in the palace, looking anxious. It has been sent, and Marine has just replied to the message. The guard said. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. What did Marine say? The old king looked at the guard anxiously. Once, under the protection of Charlotte Linlin, their kingdom was attacked by pirates, and now he even regrets becoming a member of the world government. If you take refuge in the other 3-4 emperors, I'm afraid it won't happen. Marine replied that Admiral White Bear is on his way, let us hold on for a while, Marine will take care of the pirates. The guard said. Admiral White Bear. Hearing the name, the old king's eyes widened. He certainly heard this name. Charlotte Linlin, who once granted asylum to his country, was killed by a white bear. Hearing this name, the old king did not have a trace of hatred, but was very excited. He was not Charlotte Linlin's son, and Charlotte Linlin was only asylum and asylum relationship, which is simply an interest relationship. Advertisement. Borrowing Charlotte Linlin's power to ensure the safety of his country, it is estimated that only 2 fox tears will shed on Charlotte Linlin's death. Great. It's actually Admiral the White Bear, so don't worry about it now. King Zidrota Bafe reacted with joy on his face. I completely forgot that I just regretted joining the world government. The sea around the kingdom of Zidrota. A pirate ship was parked, the bow of which resembled a giant spider. Boss, the old king of the Zidrota kingdom, what shall we do if we don't surrender? The pirate looked at his boss and said. The pirate boss is about 40 years old, with long curly hair and spider prints on his forehead. He looks treacherous and cruel, with 2 long knives slung on his body. Great Vortex Spider Skiyard. Although this guy is not very strong, he is still famous in New World. There is no reason for it, just because he has an old man named Edward Newgate. It will be my father's birthday in a few days. This time, the gift I gave must not be suppressed by Joe's and the others. I heard that King Zidrota treasures the world's largest black pearl. Grab it and give it to the old man. Wait another day, if the old king of Zidrota does not surrender, then we will go straight in and grab the black pearl. Skiyard gritted his teeth. Yes, boss. The pirates said. Advertisement. It's so touching filial piety, I can't bear to catch you anymore. Suddenly, the voice of abuse sounded. Skiyard was shocked suddenly, followed the prestige, and suddenly his pupils shrank suddenly, and he couldn't help but horrified. Marine Admiral White Bear. Oh, it seems that you know me. Mu Feng smiled and said. Then you should be very clear that the kingdom of Zidrota belongs to a member country of the world government. Since you dare to attack a member country of the world government, then you should be prepared to be arrested by the world government. Skiyard's expression was extremely embarrassed. Of course he knew that Zidrota now belonged to the world government. However, when Skiyard was preparing to snatch Zidrota, Zidrota had not yet become the world government affiliate country. But when he knew it, it was too late. The arrow was on the string, and I had to send it. And subconsciously, Skiyard thought that as a child of Whitebeard, no one would dare to provoke him. White Bear. I'm the son of Whitebeard. Skiyard shouted. But no matter how you can hear it, he doesn't have much confidence. Whitebeard's son. In that case, I will educate his son for Whitebeard, and then ask how he taught him. Mu Feng said. Then he drew out the mammoth blade from his waist and slashed directly towards Skeward. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 153. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At the end of the Grand Line, this is the site belonging to the Whitebeard pirates. On the Moby Dick, the captains of the Whitebeard pirate group, as well as the pirates at the cadre level, were sitting on the deck drinking and chatting. The recent new world is really messy, yeah, except for naval headquarters. After the demise of Big Mom, the biggest vested person should be the guy Doflamingo, right? In the name of 7 warlords of the sea, it is a shame for the pirates. But having said that, Marine's White Bear is too abnormal. I am afraid that he can kill Charlotte Linlin. I am afraid that the strength is comparable to that of the old man. You say. Next, the White Bear does not know what will happen again. The movement. The captain of the 4th Division of the Whitebeard pirate group, Sachi, said solemnly. Sachi, what are you worried about? No matter what White Bear wants to do, is it possible that he would dare to come to trouble with our Whitebeard pirates? Yes, don't forget that Daddy is the strongest in the world. We are not vegetarians either. He Baishong wants to trouble us Whitebeard unless he can move the entire naval headquarters. Yes, unless he can move naval headquarters over, Laughing, everyone touched their glasses again. Marco, who was on the side, opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Although he heard from his father's mouth that he is not as good as the White Bear, in the subconscious, Marco does not think that the White Bear is worse than the old man. Advertisement. As long as you think of the name Whitebeard, whether it is a pirate or marine, you will feel a pressure like a mountain. The strongest in the world. It's more than just talking. This is what Whitebeard has erected from battle after becoming a pirate. Whether Marine Admiral, Marshal, or even the Commander-in-Chief of the entire army, or the Golden Lion, Roger, Kaido of the pirates. Whitebeard has never failed. That's right, Dad is the strongest. Marco also smiled relieved. Then I started drinking with my friends. Just as the captains were drinking happily, among them, one of them was drinking happily, but his eyes were extremely gloomy. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This guy is Blackbeard Marshal D. Teach. Although he looks like a fat guy who lacks a few front teeth, Blackbeard is not such a simple character. Although he is not the captain, no one would think that he is weak, but he has been left on the red-haired face. The role of 3 scars. Even without eating any devil fruit, Blackbeard is definitely an admiral-level powerhouse. No one can stay in the strongest position in the world all the time, even if it is you. I am afraid that the current White Bear can't beat you. But it definitely reaches the point where it can threaten you. Blackbeard secretly thought. Dao. White Bear Mu Feng. Unless you get dark fruit. Otherwise, I definitely can't be the opponent of this monster. Blackbeard muttered, lowering his head. However, he has joined the Whitebeard pirates for more than 10 years. Advertisement. But I didn't get the slightest clue from dark fruit. Blackbeard was even a little desperate, and shook his head. Blackbeard thought. According to my calculations, the Whitebeard pirate group is the most likely to obtain dark fruit, and within 10 years, Whitebeard should be able to maintain his own strength. It seems that he can only speed up his search in these 10 years. Speed. At this moment, Blackbeard noticed that a pirate ship was approaching. Not only Blackbeard, but the other captains of the Whitebeard pirate group also noticed, stopped drinking, and cast their eyes to the past. It's the pirate ship of that guy Skeward, he's back. The captain of the 5th Division, Foil, Vista, was the first to recognize it. It's the guy Skiyard. He said that this time the old man would prepare the best gift for him for his birthday. I don't know what it will be. 0 seeking flowers 0. Whatever it is, it's definitely not as good as mine. No. This time Dad will definitely like the gift I gave the most. Marco was also smiling, but suddenly, his face was taken aback. Then his face was full of anger, and he roared. Who did it? What he saw was a wound that stretched from his neck to his right crotch in front of Skiyard. The flesh and blood had been rolled out, and his appearance was extremely terrifying. And Skiyard's entire body was even tied to the bow. The voice that Marco roared made everyone on the deck of the Moby Dick clearly notice the tragic situation of Skudard at the moment. Advertisement. Who did it? I'm going to kill you. 0. The crew of the Whitebeard pirate group, at this time, were extremely angry. The picture of the Whitebeard pirate, who treats each other as relatives, how could Skiyard not be angry and lose his mind when seeing such a miserable situation? The pirate ship was getting closer, and everyone could see who else was on board. Golden epaulets, great cloak of justice. Impossible. This guy, why did you come here? Blackbeard's pupils shrank suddenly, and he was startled in a cold sweat. Because this figure is exactly Mu Feng, the white bear. Seeing that no one around noticed him, Blackbeard couldn't help backing away. I don't know when, but he has already hid in the cabin of the mobile. The white bear came in this posture. Obviously it was impossible to come for a friendly visit, it was definitely a menacing coming. White bear Mu Feng, do you know what you are doing? Marco stared at Mu Feng and asked harshly. Although he was very angry, he didn't make a rash move. To be the captain of Whitebeard's squad, Marco still has a bit of a brain. Hee. Of course I know. Looking at Marco who questioned him, Mu Feng was not angry, but smiled. I just taught my son for the fellow Whitebeard, lest I don't know when, because I didn't educate my son well, I would lose myself. Life. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 154. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Not only Marco, but other members of the Whitebeard pirate group, also recognized Mu Feng, and none of them had thought that the white bear would suddenly appear. Under Mu Feng's control, the ship at his feet steadily stopped on the sea nearly 100 meters away from the Moby Dick, and Skiyard's tragic situation was more clearly seen by everyone. Hurry up and let Skiyard go, and then leave the waters of Whitebeard. Marco said. Before the last minute, Marco did not want to declare war. Against a strong man like the White Bear, even if the old man takes the shot, the Whitebeard pirates will definitely suffer serious deaths and injuries from the aftermath of the battle. Marco doesn't want to see this happen. Oh, let him go. First a Marine, and he is a pirate. Marine catching a pirate, this is a 323 thing in the Bible. And you, a pirate, why do you order I let go? I'm really curious about this. Mu Feng looked at Marco and smiled lightly. An anger flashed in Marco's eyes, but in the end it was suppressed. After a deep voice, Marco said, okay. Then I'll tell you the answer. Because we are the Whitebeard pirates, is that enough? At the same time Marco folded his hands together, ready to fight. On the side, Diamond, Jose, Foil, Bista, Sachi, all had their eyes flickering and walked slowly behind Marco. Then, all the team captains stood up. They all knew that facing a strong player at the level of the White Bear, it was definitely not a Marco or the addition of Bista and Jose that would be able to defeat. Advertisement. But Mu Feng unscathed the existence of a 4 Emperors level pirate group. How can such a strong person not make people feel jealous? Hee. Hearing Marco's words, Mu Feng chuckled twice, without any aura leaking from his body, and said slowly. The reason you gave me is the Whitebeard pirates. If this is the case, I'm sorry, it's not enough. I can fight 2 of the remnants of the era like Whitebeard. It can be said to be so calm and easy to say, and only Mu Feng. Quiet. Unfortunately quiet, everyone's expression is dementia. In this world, there are people who despise daddy so much. Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Anger fills Marco's brain. For him, Whitebeard is not only his father, but also his belief. He will never allow anyone to insult Whitebeard. A blue flame rose up all over Marco. He rushed towards Mu Feng, raised his leg, and with a heavy kick, he slammed directly towards Mu Feng. This kick hit Mu Feng, and countless blue tongues of fire suddenly appeared in the air, and finally turned into sharp claws of blue flames, and grabbed Mu Feng fiercely. Zone, the phantom beast species. The fruit of the undead. Mu Feng said lightly. If you can train it to the level of devil fruit's awakening, maybe it will cause me a little trouble. But now, if you want to block my way, you are not qualified enough. You are simply wasting the phoenix fruit. Marco. Mu Feng said calmly, and at the same time raised his right arm, making a fist. Armament Hockey Giant Fist. Advertisement. Mu Feng's armament hockey has already broken the boundaries, so naturally there is no need to be constrained. Giant Fist is an extension of his armament hockey skill. The source of inspiration is when Luffy's third gear is combined with armament hockey. Such a fist can be said to be invincible. Of course, Luffy can't reach that level, but it doesn't mean that Mu Feng can't try to do it. Armament hockey was twisted layer by layer until the fist was bigger than the body. Of course, this was only done in a Setsuna room. Facing the attacking Marco, the giant fist hit him directly. With just a punch, Marco was blasted away directly. Marco. Suddenly, an urgent shout sounded. Just a huge diamond man jumped high and caught Marco. Under the sunlight, it refracts a bright light. 0. The Whitebeard Pirates, the captain of the 3rd Division, Diamond, Joes, the ability of Paramesha Devil Fruit, this is simply the ability to drive women crazy. It can instantly diamondize the body and resist any physical attack. Joes in the plot, but even the Eagle Eyes slash to cut through the mountains was taken down. At the same time, he also has extremely terrifying wrist strength, able to throw ice or stones that are even larger than the giants directly. After catching Marco, Joes landed firmly on the deck of the mobile. Advertisement. Marco. How is it? A brawny man with a top hat, a curvy beard, and a knotted muscles asked anxiously. Holding 2 long slender swords, it is the foil Beasta. A swordsman with double swordsmanship can compete with Eagle Eye in a short time. Even if he is not a great swordsman, he has half-footed into the realm of a great swordsman. I was already a crew member of the Whitebeard Pirate Group 20 years ago. The weapon used was double swords. Due to swordsmanship, petals would fall all over my body during the battle. Marco didn't speak, and the cyan flame ignited all over his body, and it went out gradually after a long while. Puff. Marco spat out a mouthful of blood. With a pale face, he said, "What a powerful armed look." Even relying on the power of the fruit can't be completely eliminated. In terms of armament hockey in 2.0 alone, it will definitely not be worse than the old man. Hearing Marco's words, Joes, Beasta, Sachi, and a group of Whitebeard captains all took a breath. You must know that Marco is definitely an admiral-level powerhouse. With a single punch, the White Bear can beat Marco into this way, deserving of the strongest marine, beheading Charlotte Linlin's existence. Everyone looking at Whitebeard looked at themselves. Mu Feng first smiled faintly, and then said, "Don't waste time, all of you, let's go together, I'm in a hurry." His words are full of confidence in his own strength and disdain for Marco and others. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 155. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Damn. Marco and the other captains of the Whitebeard Pirates are all full of anger. As the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, they are famous even in New World. Great pirate, where is such an insult? However, they also knew that Mu Feng was able to nearly blast Marco into serious injury with a single blow. It is definitely not something that any of them can contend alone. They looked at each other, and the long-term tacit understanding made a few people make a decision instantly. In the next moment, I saw Marco soaring into the sky, the cyan flame was burning fiercely, and the whole person gradually became a big cyan bird. Phoenix fruit completely phoenix state. Marco's strongest form, his body turned into a complete Eudemon's phoenix. It can directly absorb all the damage from the attack. At the same time, Jaws's body was also covered with a layer of brilliant diamonds. Under the sunlight, it shone with dazzling light. Shine crash. Joes gathered up his body's strength and launched the strongest attack. Take the diamond's elbow as the core of the attack, rush forward at 10 speeds, and hit the target to cause a devastating blow. I saw Joes bounce to the ground, and the bow of the Moby Dick under his feet sank suddenly, almost sinking into the sea. Then Jaws's whole body was like a cannonball blasting at Mu Feng. Beasta held a sword flower in each hand, armament hockey wrapped around the blade. Advertisement. Double swords and foils. Pieces of petals fall from Beasta's body, and the great swordsman will have his own domain. This is the product of the combination of hockey and sword energy, and Beasta's is so gorgeous. Sachi, Bramank, Lakyo. The captains of the Whitebeard pirate group, all without the slightest reservation, launched their own attacks on the bottom of the box. The strongest attack by all the captains of the Whitebeard pirate group. If you change to Aokiji or Kizaru, even if you are elementalized, you will inevitably suffer serious injuries. However, at the moment they are facing Mu Feng. Looking at the attack, Mu Feng finally raised some interest. Among several people, the first to attack Mu Feng was Zhou's. Diamond's arm banged straight towards Mu Feng's door. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Diamond, the hardest substance in the world. I don't know, are my fists hard? Mu Feng murmured. Armament hockey covers Mu Feng's right arm. Diamond power. Immobile. Wood Styles chakra is poured into the arm. Facing Jaws' fist, it was a direct confrontation. The strength of the whole body is concentrated on the fist. How strong would such a Mu Feng be with a full punch? 100 tons of huge power. 1,000 tons of huge power. Even 10,000 tons of huge power. Advertisement. Mu Feng has not tested it, of course he doesn't know. All he knew was that Zhou's would definitely not be able to withstand such an attack. I saw that my fist blasted directly on Jaws' arm. Jaws' huge body suddenly stopped in midair. At the same time, creaking, creeping, a subtle but extremely crisp sound. This sound reached Jaws' ears, but it was unusually harsh. The expression on his face became stiff, his pupils gradually dilated, and an expression of pain appeared on Jaws' face. He didn't care about attacking Mu Feng again, and cast his eyes on his arm. I saw that my crystal clear elbow position suddenly appeared one after another cracks, and then quickly cracked. Between Setsuna, the whole arm is covered. How can that be? Apart from the old man, how could anyone crush his diamond body? Moreover, it's just a fist. But at this moment, Zhou's cannot tolerate more horror. Because Mu Feng's fist blasted over again. His eyes were full of horror, but Zhou's had no time to dodge. Mu Feng's fist hit Jaws' chest firmly. Bang, bang. Traces of cracks also appeared on Jaws' chest. After that, the whole person flew out directly backwards. Zhou's. Advertisement. Marco. Bista, Sachi. Seeing Zhou's who was bombarded by Mu Feng, they all burst into tears and shouted one after another. However, no one stopped their offensive. Even sharper three-pointers. Pulling out the mammoth blade from his waist, the sword's edge was revealed. Mu Feng raised his hand and directly blocked the attack of the Bista double sword. With Mu Feng's swordsmanship cultivation base, to cut down Bista, there is absolutely no need for a second sword, but Mu Feng did not choose to do so, but fought with Bista. After all, Bista is also one of the world's best swordsmen. For Mu Feng, it can still increase the experience value of some 8,000 swords. 3 Guyu's Sharingan emerged, and Mu Feng fought with Bista as a group. From time to time, he also dodges the attacks of other captains. 610. After about 2 or 3 minutes, the system's voice rang in my mind. Ding. Congratulations to host, for learning Bista's foil swordsmanship. The current level is LVMAX 11. May I ask whether host chooses to convert to proficiency? If you change the proficiency of the 8,000 swordsmanship, host will lose the foil swordsmanship. Please choose. Choose the proficiency that transforms into 8,000 swords flow. Mu Feng said silently. With a hard move, Mu Feng's proficiency in 8,000 swords has increased from 51% to 59%. It made Mu Feng a little disappointed. He only increased his proficiency by 8%. Knowing that Hawkeye's black swordsmanship has increased his proficiency by 28%. It seems that Eagle Eye, the world's #1 swordsman, is still a bit dry. Well, the game is over. Mu Feng murmured. Tighten the mammoth blade with one hand, raise his hand and slash it directly. At this moment, the swordsmanship of the supreme swordsman level surpassing the swordsman is fully revealed. The magnificent sword energy swept around. Seeing such a scene, Marco and others did not dare to reserve the slightest. They all showed their abilities. All kinds of abilities were intertwined, and the magnificent incomparable sword energy, rumbling. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 156. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Rumble and rumbling. With a thunderous rumbling, the magnificent sword energy that Mu Feng slashed out parallel to the sea, it was not a captain-level powerhouse that could resist. Each of them flew out with fierce sword energy, directly cut off the mast of the mobile. The captains who were bombarded by Mu Feng were all shocked. Although they have all heard of the horror of marine white bear, but they dare not imagine how horrible it is. Even Daddy, it is difficult to do it. On the mobile, the members of the Whitebeard pirate group who saw this scene were also shocked. Such a terrifying slash, never seen in his life. How is it possible? Captains, they were. Go. Just kidding. No, that's not right. I must be dreaming. As the crew members of the Whitebeard pirate group, they know the strength of the captain class. Especially Marco, Joe's, Beasta. They are definitely strong against Marine Admiral and never lose the wind. But at the moment, actually he couldn't even handle one of the White Bear's tricks. This is, what a terrifying strength. Advertisement. Daddy, only Daddy can defeat such a terrifying powerhouse. Even though they saw the strength of Mu Feng with their own eyes, they still believed in Whitebeard. Damn it. White Bear. Is this guy like White Bear so terrifying? On the Moby Dick, Blackbeard was hiding in a corner that was hard to detect, and his face was extremely embarrassed. The sword made by Mu Feng just now made him feel heartbroken. I'm afraid. I'm afraid the White Bear is not weaker than the old man. It deserves to be able to kill Charlotte Linlin. Even if I eat that fruit, I don't know. Is it only to this degree? Compared to the 3 plagues of the beasts and the deserts of the ant. Your Whitebeard cadres are much worse, because Whitebeard sheltered so well. Mu Feng looked at the captain speaking lightly, his tone was full of contempt. Damn. Joe's was unwilling, and he was struggling to get up. However, at this moment, his arms and chest are completely bloody. Looking at Marco on the side, even his consciousness has fallen into a coma, and Beasta is not much better. The double swords that he regards as life have been broken. Only a slumped color remains on his face. How could it still have the ability to resist? Saki and others were even more unbearable. How could it be so strong? Seeing such tragic friends, the unwillingness on Jaws's face gradually turned into despair. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But just then, a hockey's awe-inspiring voice came. Jaws's eyes burst into endless brilliance instantly. Just because the owner of this voice is his father Whitebeard. Edward Newgate, known as the strongest man in the world. Marine White Bear, you dare to beat my Whitebeard's child so embarrassed. I don't know if you know what consequences you will endure next. Whitebeard glared at Mu Feng, his voice mixed with unprecedented anger. Whitebeard is definitely the most calf-guarding father in the world. Advertisement. How could he tolerate his child being beaten so badly? Holding a huge naginata and wearing a large cloak, he walked out of the cabin of the mobile and walked to the side of Marco. Father, Jaws's voice was full of shame. Beasta, who was on the side, also had a look in his eyes, looking at his father. They attacked Mu Feng with confidence just now, but they didn't expect. But it was like this, and finally they had to come forward. As a child, they were so incompetent. In their hearts, the anger towards themselves is even greater than the anger towards Mu Feng. Whitebeard didn't speak, and knelt down. Putting down the naginata in his hand, he reached out and probed Marco's breath. He was only in a coma and he was relieved a little. Then he looked at Joe's and Beasta, and said, Beasta, bring Joe's and Marco back to the cabin for medical treatment, and leave it to me here. Yes, old man. Beasta nodded. Then he took Marco with one hand and Joe's with the other, and returned to the cabin. Only then did Whitebeard pay attention to Mu Feng again, with unprecedented solemnity. Marine White Bear. Garp does have a good grandson. Quote. Oh, what are you doing? Show me your qualifications. Sorry, I don't think that being a pirate for decades is your proud capital. Mu Feng looked at Whitebeard in a calm tone. It's like stating a trivial thing. Really? Humph. When I was in the ocean. You kids still didn't know where to breastfeed. Whitebeard snorted coldly. Hearing what Whitebeard said, Mu Feng was not angry, but smiled lightly. Advertisement. So, after living for so long, you are just a remnant of the last era. This era has long lost your place, Whitebeard. Hearing Mu Feng's words, Whitebeard's expression stopped. An angry look appeared on his face. Huh. A little devil with sharp teeth, then let you see how powerful the remnant party is in my age. The big naginata in his hand turned around and slashed towards Mu Feng. Mu Feng's eyes are also full of strong fighting spirit. Changed from one-handed swords to double-handed swords, and slashed past Whitebeard's naginata. The mammoth blade and Whitebeard's naginata collide with each other. Although it wasn't One Piece, it was Whitebeard's unintentional One Piece title. If he wanted to, then the 4 pieces of red historical text had long been collected by Whitebeard. Although it is the 4 emperors, Whitebeard is definitely the king of the sea at this time. In the battle with Whitebeard, Mu Feng has long been looking forward to it. For no other reason, Whitebeard is a pirate, and the strongest pirate. And he is Marine, Admiral of Headquarters White Bear. The strongest Marine. The battle between the two is already a battle for the world's strongest. This battle is the strongest battle in the world. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 157. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Whitebeard's Big Naginata, although not one of the 12 supreme big knives, is definitely not inferior to any supreme big knife. If you only talk about the degree of hardness, even any of the supreme knives cannot be compared with the Naginata in the hands of Whitebeard. After all, it can withstand the power of a monster like Whitebeard, and the degree of hardness can be imagined. The terrifying power came from the mammoth blade. Mu Feng's expression condensed, and his heart stunned. Originally, Mu Feng thought he had paid enough attention to Whitebeard, but he didn't expect that he still underestimated Whitebeard. Such a terrifying power. It's worthy of being called a monster. Even without relying on the power of shock fruit, Whitebeard is absolutely worthy of being a powerhouse of the 4 emperors level. However, Mu Feng wood-style chakra is infused with his whole body. Diamond power Fudo is not inferior to Whitebeard's terrifying power. The two forces stood in a stalemate for a moment, and then burst apart. Rumbling. With Mu Feng and Whitebeard as the center, the entire sea exploded. The strength of the two confronted each other, and the fierce momentum raged, and even the sky, 957 had cracked a huge black crack. Look, the sky is cracked. This is too powerful. How is it possible? The White Bear can actually contend with Dad. Advertisement. The pirates on the Moby Dick were stunned. They can't believe that there are people in the world who can compete with their father for strength. As everyone knows, this will make Whitebeard's horror even worse. The knife he made just now came out with anger, without the slightest remaining hand, accumulating all the strength of his body. And how strong is his own strength? Of course, Whitebeard himself knows better than anyone else. Even the strongest warrior of the giants can't be compared with himself. His own power can definitely blast through the 1,000-meter high mountains. And the marine boy in front of him can actually take his own strength. How can it be? Is it possible that this kid is actually a giant? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Are you kidding me? BFBE, the force gradually vented, and the dark cracks in the sky closed again. Both Mu Feng and Whitebeard understand that this temptation is evenly matched. Mu Feng landed on the bow of Skiyard, and Whitebeard landed on the deck of the Moby Dick. At a distance of tens of meters, Whitebeard looked at Mu Feng coldly. And Mu Feng smiled and said, "Whitebeard, let's change the battlefield and continue fighting. Otherwise, I feel that this broken pirate ship and your Moby Dick will be finished." Yeah. You can. Whitebeard snorted coldly. Advertisement. However, he did not refute Mu Feng's proposal. Whitebeard was very clear about the impact of the battle between the two. Destroying the entire Moby Dick was just a matter of fists. Moreover, Whitebeard himself is a capable person of devil fruit. Fighting on the sea will be more or less coerced. Moonwalk shave. Follow the light. At the end of his sight, there was a lush island. Mu Feng directly transported his 6-form fusion skills and rushed in that direction. Whitebeard, holding a large naginata, also stepped onto Moonwalk, following Mu Feng's back. Mu Feng didn't surprise me at all. Marine 6 styles is not top secret. Strong people like Whitebeard don't know Marine 6 styles. That's weird. It's just that they don't use it in general. Just arrived at the isolated island, Whitebeard directly hit Mu Feng with a heavy punch. The next moment, centered on Whitebeard's fist, the air shattered like a mirror, spreading in all directions like a spider web. Shock fruit. Paramesha is the strongest devil fruit. You can trigger an earthquake at will. Moreover, the intensity of the earthquake can be adjusted arbitrarily, and it has the power to destroy the world. However, shock fruit is the ability to cause earthquakes, not the earthquake itself, so it does not belong to Logia but Paramesha. As for whether shock fruit is the strongest Paramesha devil fruit, Mufeng is unconvinced, but Whitebeard has no doubt. Definitely the strongest user of Paramesha Devil Fruit at this stage. The power of Shock Fruit turned the entire island upside down. Under Whitebeard's control, the cracks in the air shattered like eyes, drilling towards Mufeng. Mufeng didn't dare to let the cracks touch him. Absolutely, it will be seriously injured. Shock Fruit. It's a terrifying ability. Mufeng was speechless. But in his expression, he didn't even mean to be afraid. Advertisement. Shock Fruit. Mufeng said that there are 100 ways to fight. Cough cough cough. 100 kinds are a bit coercive. But there are several kinds, Mufeng can still get it. The simplest is that Mufeng directly hides in Kamui space. Not to mention that it was just a mere earthquake. Even if Whitebeard could really destroy the world, Mufeng said he was not afraid at all. However, hiding in the Kamui space has one of the biggest drawbacks, that is, Mufeng can no longer attack Whitebeard who is outside the Kamui space. In the pupils, Mangekyo Sharingan emerged. Mufeng stared at Whitebeard's attack on him. Kamui yelled in a low voice. Although it is also Kamui, Mufeng is not hiding in Kamui's space, but Kamui's other way of using the pupil technique. Also in the Naruto world, Kakashi's use of his body, using Kamui to transfer attacks into the Kamui space. Mufeng's Kamui is the Kamui of Mangekyo with 2 eyes, so both Obito's Kamui skills and Kakashi's Kamui skills can be used. I saw the space that Mufeng was staring at, and the space shattered by Shock Fruit, suddenly twisted inexplicably. Then it turned like a whirlpool. As the distortion stopped, the space recovered as if nothing happened, and of course Whitebeard's attack disappeared together. Those eyes. Devil Fruit's ability. Whitebeard frowned. Then, Haki recklessly said, Koahahahaha. But I'm not afraid. Because I'm Whitebeard, he said. He punched Mufeng outrageously. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 158. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Malin Fando. Naval Headquarters, Marshal's Office. Marshal Sengoku was dealing with the affairs that seemed to be inexhaustible. He was unlucky with 3 Admiral, Aokiji, Kizaru and Mufeng. Palm. Suddenly, there was a rush of phone bugs. Sengoku was stunned for a moment, picked up the phone worm, and said with a smile, King Zidrota, what? The crisis in your country should have been solved by now. It has been resolved. Thank you so much to Marine, so much to Admiral the White Bear. The pirate who attacked the kingdom of Zidrota is skewered. Admiral the White Bear said that Marshal Sengoku has ordered him to take this matter seriously, so Admiral the White Bear now he has rushed to the waters of Whitebeard, saying that he wants to get justice for the kingdom of Zidrota. King Zidrota said. Well, this is indeed what I ordered by Shang. Zidro. What? You said? The kid Mufeng ran to find Whitebeard's trouble. Halfway through, Sengoku reacted and couldn't help snarling. What's wrong? Marshal Sengoku. King Zidrota at the other end of the phone worm was obviously taken aback by Sengoku. No. Nothing. The Zidrota kingdom is a member of the world government. It is Marine's duty to maintain the safety of the Zidrota kingdom. There must be a lot of things in your affairs, King, so Sengoku won't bother you anymore. Sengoku opened his mouth and said. Advertisement. That's fine. King Zidrota said. Although he still has a relationship with Sengoku. But Sengoku said all these things, obviously not in the mood to continue talking with him, and can only hang up the phone worm. Mufeng. Does you think Whitebeard is Charlotte Linlin? How is it the same as Garp's old bastard? Can I die by stopping it? Sengoku gritted his teeth. At the same time, a phone worm was dialed. Sengoku. What's the matter? We are done. After this task is completed, I will go back to Windmill Village to train my grandson. Garp's voice rang from the phone worm. Old bastard, you're still in New World right now, rush me to the Whitebeard Sea immediately. Sengoku roared directly, he didn't have time to wrestle with Garp anymore. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. What happened to the Newgate guy? Did someone beat his kid? Garp asked. The tone is also rare and serious. After all, as long as it involves Whitebeard, it's not a trivial matter. Who? You have the face to ask who it is. Hearing Garp's question, Sengoku roared, not your good grandson yet. News from the kingdom of Zidrota, this kid Mufeng hit the Whitebeard pirates alone. Nani? Garp was also taken aback. But then he laughed and said, "Ah ha ha, deserves to be the grandson of the old man. Sengoku, I don't think you need to worry about Mu Feng, the kid. Since he can kill Charlotte Linlin, even if he is not Whitebeard's opponent, Whitebeard is also I can't help him. I'm not worried about that little bastard. He has more ways to save his life." Sengoku said angrily. After a pause, he continued. "What I am worried about is that after this, you also know that with Whitebeard's character, you can say anything as long as you don't provoke him. Therefore, after the opening of the era of great voyages, Marine has never provoked the Whitebeard pirates, and the two parties are naturally fine. But this time, Whitebeard was bullied by Mu Feng to his doorstep. My concern is that after this, Marine will usher in crazy revenge from the Whitebeard pirates. Then it will be a devastating blow to the forces that Marine has just established in New World." Quote. Advertisement. "Then what did you let me do in the past? Mu Feng must have been fighting Whitebeard now. It's too late to stop him." Garp puzzled. "Old bastard. You listen to me. Since Mu Feng kid has started this battle, then for Marine, he can only choose to make a desperate move. I don't care if you are in a wheel fight or two against Whitebeard. Anyway, this battle can't be defeated. Only in this way can Whitebeard's subsequent possible venting behavior be prevented." Sengoku's unusually determined voice reached Garp's ears. "Ask for flowers. Cut. Got it." Garp was a little upset, but he didn't refute Sengoku. Because Garp knows that Sengoku is right, if Whitebeard's momentum cannot be contained, then Whitebeard's subsequent revenge will definitely be extremely terrifying. "I'm heading to Whitebeard's sea right now," Garp said. Comma 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 comma. At the moment, at the end of the Grand Line. On the island where Mu Feng and Whitebeard fought fiercely, their conqueror's haki raged, although Whitebeard's conqueror's haki was higher than Mu Feng. 0. But Mu Feng's conqueror's haki at the moment has also broken the boundaries. The level has reached LVMAX 11. Advertisement. Although it is weaker than Whitebeard, it is easy to offset the influence of Whitebeard conqueror's haki. However, this unlucky thing is this isolated island under the feet of the two of them. The sky seemed to be collapsing, and the sea frantically rolled up raging waves, covering this isolated island, as if to swallow the entire island. Marco, Jose, Bista, all the captains stood on the deck of the mobile, looking at the battle on the island. Is this a collision between conquerors' haki? How is it possible? There is such a terrifying conqueror's haki in Marine. Even among the pirates, except for the old man, they are all red-haired. No. There is also Charlotte Linlin, but she has been killed by the white bear. Comma comma comma. It seems that it is possible to destroy the power of the entire island at any time. Rao was Marco and others, and couldn't help feeling nervous. But no one intervened in this battle. First of all, because they are not qualified to intervene in this level of battle. Secondly, and most importantly, they all firmly believe that their father, Whitebeard, is the strongest in the world, and no one can beat it. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 159. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Today's Whitebeard is still 5 years away from the time of the top battle, although its strength is much lower than that of its heyday. However, the current Whitebeard has not been able to rely on healing liquids to maintain health. If Whitebeard in the battle for the top had only 60 to 70% of the strength in its heyday, then the current Whitebeard definitely still has 90% of its strength in its heyday. The world's strongest name is absolutely beyond doubt. Whitebeard was holding a huge naginata, and violently slammed Mu Feng's slashes. Even with the slashes of the supreme swordsman like Mu Feng, the essence of the sword aura has been condensed, but in the face of Whitebeard's unreasonable terrifying power and the ability of shock fruit, but it still looks a little fragile. The magnificent 570 sword energy was all shattered by Whitebeard. The broken sword aura shot out in all directions, raging on the entire island, the original lush forest. At this moment, there is no trace of it. However, Mu Feng's slash cannot be easily resisted. It was Whitebeard, who was already breathing slightly. Looking at Mu Feng, Whitebeard smiled boldly. Kurla la 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 la. Marine boy, come up with your real skills. Although your kendo training is very powerful, even reaching it makes me feel a little tricky to the point. but if it's nothing more than that, it can't kill the Mad Lady Charlotte Linlin. Or, you think you don't need to use real skills to deal with me, Whitebeard? Huh. Whitebeard's face shrank, and he made a fist with one hand and blasted out. Suddenly, the whole island turned frantically again. Whitebeard, also angry. His anger was already pouring out at this moment. The mammoth blade in his hand kept slashing, and the magnificent sword aura was cut out. Collide with the shocking power of Whitebeard. The battle between these two monsters had too much scope. The Moby Dick, which was originally docked only 100 meters away from the isolated island, had to retreat several kilometers away. Advertisement. The pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group all looked at the isolated island in amazement. This kind of battle really made them feel shocked. And Blackbeard, who was hidden among the crowd, looked at the battlefield with a different look, eagerly mixed with greed. The power of shock fruit is indeed the strongest power. If I can find that fruit, then, this power. After Mu Feng wielded the last few sword chi, he withdrew the mammoth blade. Looking at Whitebeard, he smiled and said, if this is the case, then, let you see how I killed Charlotte Linlin. As Mu Feng's voice fell, his eyes gradually became cold. Raising his hand, stretching out his 5 fingers, and slowly holding it down. Senbon Sakura, in a shallow hitting state, already appeared in his hand and exuded a pressure different from Conqueror's Haki. Staring at Mu Feng, Whitebeard frowned. Because he smelled a hint of crisis. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. However, there was no sense of fear in his expression. Because he is Whitebeard, the man with the strongest name in the world. Bankai. Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi. An icy voice without any fluctuations came out of Mu Feng's mouth. As Mu Feng's voice fell, Senbon Sakura in his hand drew a circle, the sword pointed to the ground. Suddenly released his hand, Senbon Sakura sank into the ground. Like a stone, it smashed into the plain lake. There were waves of ripples. As the ripples spread, Mu Feng's whole body erected countless swords with a height of more than 10 meters, and all the swords collapsed in the Setsuna. Advertisement. The pink sakura flowers in the sky contain endless murderous intent. Then, what is that? It should be petals. Is it the same as Captain Vista? Is it the domain of the great swordsman? No. It's not like that. Marco stared at Mu Feng firmly. Look, the sword in the hands of the white bear disappeared. Hearing Marco's voice, everyone was taken aback. Then he looked at Mu Feng's hands again, both hands empty. Where was the sword just now? Suddenly, a bold idea popped out of my mind. Is it possible that the white bear's sword has become the sky full of sakura flowers? N. Whitebeard's expression also condensed slightly, and a wave of concussive force appeared on the naginata, and suddenly bombed the sakura flower in front of him. Shock fruit's ability to burst the gathered sakura flowers. However, there is no use, just to turn the sky full of sakura flower thin blade into a smaller sakura flower thin blade, which is still under the control of Mu Feng. Final scene by D Sword. Mu Feng didn't keep his hands at all. In addition to the profound meaning, Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi's ultimate move is also the ultimate form of Senbon Sakura. All the spiritual power in his body was poured into Senbon Sakura. Advertisement. I saw that the original pink thin blades all bloomed with dazzling white light, surrounding Mu Feng's body, like spreading wings. But this is not over yet. Mu Feng did not choose to attack Whitebeard immediately, because although such an attack can pose a threat to Whitebeard, it will never seriously injure him. The Mangekyo Sharingan in his eyes appeared again, his eyes condensed suddenly. Amaterasu. The pupil technique was released following Mu Feng's sight. But the goal is not Whitebeard 4.9, but the flapping wings of the Beatty sword. Although the pitch-black Amaterasu's flame does not burn, Mu Feng found that Conqueror's Haki has a certain resistance to Amaterasu's flame. If the area covered by Whitebeard Conqueror's Haki is not broken, Amaterasu will not be able to cause damage to Whitebeard at all. Mu Feng soared into the sky, Amaterasu wrapped in Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi's sword. The dazzling white, and the desperate black. Final scene Amaterasu by D Sword. The Beatty sword flapped its wings, like a big pung, invading Whitebeard. Even if Whitebeard used a naginata to sway the shocking force and smash the Beatty sword to pieces. But in the next moment, it will resume as before. There is no way, Whitebeard can only choose to use his own body to resist. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL Novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 160. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Endless shocking power accumulates on the fist, blasting out against the Beatty sword. The green veins on his arm burst out, and countless spatial cracks spread out. Mu Feng felt the ground under his feet violently shake. No. To be precise, it's broken. The bottomless cracks suddenly appeared under the feet. Sky, earth, ocean, shattered, still shattered. Devastated. Looking at the past, no matter where it is, there is no undamaged piece of ground. Mu Feng couldn't help thinking of the terrifying scene during the battle on the top. However, the current situation is even more outrageous than the scene in my head. The furthest distance between each crack is only a few meters away. The surface of the sea not far away was also tossed up, and a huge wave of hundreds of meters rose suddenly. In front of such a huge wave 11, the mobile was so small. Some of the pirates on the ship can only lie on the deck to ensure that they will not be thrown into the sea. Even Marco and Vista can only bow. Daddy, this is. Did you use all your strength? The white bear is so strong. No. Hurry up. Get out of here. Advertisement. The Moby Dick turned the bow, trying to stay away from this sea. However, a sudden big wave hit. The entire Moby Dick was directly lifted off by such a huge wave. In the face of natural disasters, the entire Moby Dick seemed vulnerable, and what was more frightening was, such natural disasters are actually caused by manpower. I can actually use the power of shock fruit to such a level. Whitebeard, there is really enough. Mu Feng said with emotion. At this time, the Amaterasu by D sword finally struck Whitebeard. Under the thin blade of the hundreds of millions of Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi, even Whitebeard's unparalleled conqueror's haki was directly torn apart. At last, Amaterasu White Emperor's sword collided with Whitebeard. The sky is full of sakura flowers splashing. The ground between Mu Feng and Whitebeard burst into a terrifying abyss, spreading to both sides. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Such a terrifying power has spread to the edge of the island. Then, it spread to the sea, and a huge trench of several kilometers long appeared suddenly on the surface of the sea. I don't know how long it took. The water was dumped back into the trench, and the sea returned to calm. On the mobile, countless people looked towards the isolated island. Dad. Did you win? Their eyes lit up suddenly because they saw Whitebeard. Holding a naginata, Whitebeard stood firmly on the battlefield. But although he didn't fall, however, Whitebeard at this time was extremely miserable. The clothes on his body had long been completely torn by the thin blade of the sky. Advertisement. That stalwart body like a mountain was also full of blood. Moreover, the iconic Whitebeard of the first quarter moon was nowhere to be found. His body was still burning with the flames of Amaterasu, but under the suppression of Conqueror's haki, Whitebeard did not continue to burn damage. However, under the first round of Amaterasu's attack, his body was already burned everywhere. Trace. And Mu Feng stood tens of meters away from Whitebeard, unscathed. Whitebeard, how do you feel? My strength. Is it qualified to kill Charlotte Linlin? Looking at Whitebeard, Mu Feng asked with a smile. Boy, if you think this will kill me, Whitebeard, that's too whimsical. Whitebeard said angrily. The pitch black armament haki covered his whole body. Conqueror's haki, which was even more terrifying than before, raged and stirred the entire sky. Whitebeard obviously wanted to continue fighting. Hey, do you want to continue fighting? I have no problem. Mu Feng said lightly. At the same time, the sky full of sakura flowers, reformed countless swords, surrounded Whitebeard in circles and rows. If Kizaru were here, he would definitely recognize. This was exactly how Mu Feng used to behead Charlotte Linlin during the battle in the Chambord Islands. But, how sure are you able to defeat me? The next blow, but it is a blow that directly slays Charlotte Linlin. I have a 7-point confidence, Whitebeard, you will definitely die to me. Under the sword, Mu Feng said lightly. In fact, after the battle just now, the outcome of this battle is already known. Although Mu Feng consumes a lot of physical strength, even if a 1,000-blade flower cannot kill Whitebeard, with the support of a fairy body, Mu Feng can kill Whitebeard after all. Even with a counterattack before his death, Whitebeard is unlikely to pose a threat to Mu Feng. Advertisement. Seeing that the situation is wrong, Feng will definitely hide in the Kamui space without hesitation. Even Whitebeard, who is at the peak of his strength, cannot withstand such rogue methods as Feng. But just when the battle between the two is about to break out again, the people of the Whitebeard pirates rushed over, and 320 crowded Whitebeard in the center. Whitebeard was covered with injuries, while Feng was unscathed. Anyone can see who wins and loses in this battle. Own father. Defeated. White Bear. What do you want to do? Marco glared at Feng and roared angrily. Although Feng's fighting spirit was gradually fading, he couldn't bear others yelling in his ears, raised his eyebrows, and said, Marco, are you looking for death? Did it just give you this? Lessons are not enough to make you remember. Hearing Feng's contemptuous words, how could Marco still bear it? With a blue flame all over his body, he wanted to attack Feng. Marco. Stop. At this moment, Whitebeard stopped Marco. Although Marco was unwilling, he did not disobey Whitebeard's orders. Shit. Feng chuckled, then looked at Whitebeard and said, Actually, I did not intend to declare war with your Whitebeard pirates this time, but Whitebeard, take care of your son in the future, see I don't want to see things like Kuyard again. After speaking, ignoring the angry Whitebeard pirate group, Feng left. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtlnovel for free. Advertisement.